In a world with good watches, bad watches, and a whole lot of nit, how can a man survive? Insights, analysis, My Watches with Ben.
Welcome to My Watches with Ben. On this channel, I review watches that I own, and I also do some score-based analysis of watch types. Today's chiming video is a continuation of the dress watch project, where I'm rating and ranking over 1,790 watches. And prior to this video, we covered 805 watches, and today, with the addition of 79 more, that brings the project to 49% completion. It's gonna take a while to finish this, and I did the easy stuff first too. But today's a cool one. The way I'm defining chiming watches for this video is mechanical watches that make an audible sound. And these watches are incredibly complicated to make. This video includes some of the most expensive watches that even exist. I say as I'm wearing a $49 Vostok, with price tags in the millions of dollars for some of these watches. So these are not timepieces any of us will ever buy or probably ever even see with our eyes. But it's fascinating that they exist, and the horology is really cool. So we're gonna take a look. The bulk of today's video is gonna be me going through the 79 sound-producing mechanical watches that are theoretically purchasable, because there's some older ones that it's hard to find them, and there are some chiming watches I couldn't justify putting them in. But yeah, this thing is gonna be a flyby. Hopefully each watch will get around 60 seconds, 60 to 90 seconds of me talking and showing you all kinds of cool stuff. So obviously, I can't cover all that much info in that time. If you want more info on specific watches, please check out other videos on YouTube. But only after you finish this video. In those 60 to 90 seconds or whatever I do on each watch, I'll say what some of the specs are. I'll describe a few interesting things about the watch. Maybe show a few beauty shots just as I'm talking. They'll be coming in and out. And I'll show you the case backs of most of the watches, particularly the ones that get higher scores. And most critically, for all but 7 of the watches, we will listen to a recording of the chime or alarm or whatever. So I'll need to hat tip a ton of watch creators. I'll make sure at least the YouTube channel is shown at the bottom, so we'll get some credit there. The one who deserves the most credit is Tim Masso, of course. I really tried to get recordings where the person actually has the watch in their hands, because they have these promotional videos with the dramatic music and all this kind of stuff, and the chime sounds outrageous. In some situations, it sounds like church bells chiming or something, and you're like, it's clearly fake. I got recordings where people actually hold it. Yeah, in real life, the actual chimes are going to be pretty quiet and dinky. And that's something that's hard to tell just from recording, is how loud is it? And that's going to vary dramatically from watch to watch, because some of these, there's only so much volume and aural impact you can get from a tiny little hammer hitting a little ring of metal. You know, it's just not going to be that loud, especially because it's inside a case. So they really have to work hard to make those things louder. And the expensive ones do it better, of course. The really good ones have leveraged chemistry and physics as much as possible to improve the volume and the purity of the chimes. So that was just a little preview of what's in store. And now I'm going to cover the types of chiming watches we're going to see in the video. Let's take a look at those slides. All right, the first one we have is alarm watches. Usually there's a fourth hand, you just set it to a time, and when the hour gets there, it goes off. And these come in 24-hour and 12-hour formats. The Vulcane's a 12-hour. Only 9 of these watches. They range in price from $200 up to $293,000. And most of them are buzzing ones where there's some hammer that's just going absolutely nuts, just brrrr, and it'll last for like 20 to 40 seconds. And I'm sure you feel it on the wrist too. I think there's 1 or 2 of them that have a nice, pretty chiming sound. Ding, 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 ding. Something like that, which is really nice. Those were alarm watches. The next type we have is the Sonnerie au passage. And that's when there's just a single chime at the top of every hour. You know, you can turn it on, turn it off with a little switch usually. You know, if you just want it to be silent, you can silence it. But yeah, anytime that minute hand passes the 12, you're going to hear a single solitary ding. And there's 8 of these watches. Cheapest one is $389. The most expensive is $81,000. Seems like it's a lot simpler mechanism than the other chiming watches we have. Kind of going from least complex up to most. All right, let's look at the next one. The next one, the video consists mostly of these ones. It's the minute repeater. And what the minute repeater allows is on-demand chiming of the time. It's not going to ding something at the top of the hour. Anytime you want to hear the chime, you have to push this little lever here, and it will play for you the hours and minutes. There's 50 of these watches. The cheapest one is $24,000. And the most expensive is $5.6 million. So this is what I'm talking about. You know, there's no way I could ever buy a minute repeater. It's not in the realm of possibility for the vast majority of people in America or on the planet. And to give you an idea of how complex these movements are, each day has 1,440 minutes in it, and that results in 7,209 different sequences that you can hear. And the watch has to be able to play that on demand at any moment. So how this works is we use the example of it's 5:48. So first it'll chime the hours, and then it will chime the quarters, which represent 15 minutes. And then for the last 3 minutes. So it's 5:48. That's how that works. Just on-demand chiming anytime you want to hear it. There's a wide range in quality and tempo. Like, some of these do weird things. This is the most common pattern, is what I have on the screen here, and what I tried to whistle for you. But some of them deviate, or they're just some of them are kind of wonky, not totally getting the rhythm right. And it's all controlled with gears and stuff, so I imagine it's really hard to get the timing right on these things. Okay, let's go to the next one. The next one is the Westminster minute repeater. 3 watches have this, and it's still a minute repeater, but it's got this really fancy way of doing the minutes, where for the quarters, it actually plays the Westminster melody here. You know, there's 16 notes long. It'll play 4 notes to indicate 15 minutes. You get the idea. Only 3 of these watches will do this, and they range from 2.1 million up to 5 million. So these are crazy. And they're probably piece unique. Like, it's not like you can go to the store and buy the $5 million watch. Like, I don't even know how you get the darn thing, but it's available for sale to somebody. And then I have a note here. There's also a few other melody watches they have like a turning disc thing. We'll see them when we go through the video. I don't want to beat a dead horse here trying to define what those are and stuff. But there you go. That's the other type of minute repeater. The next type is the petite sonnerie. And when you have a petite sonnerie, you have a grande sonnerie as well. They come together. But what the petite sonnerie is, when this minute hand goes past the 12 up here, it'll tell you what the hours are. So on the hour, it'll tell you, and it'll chime every quarter. You know, it'll chime 2 notes for every quarter that it is. So if it was 3:30, it would go, and you can turn that on and off. That's the petite sonnerie. 7 of these watches. And again, this is crazy amounts of money. Ridiculous. $750,000 up to 6 million for these sonneries. And the Grande Sonnerie, it's the same watch. It's just you turn this little switch to go between the two. The only difference here is on the quarters, it'll give you the quarters and the hours. It's just your personal preference, basically. Do you only want to hear the quarters? Do you want to hear the quarters and the hours? And they always have the minute repeater as well. So you can do it on demand anytime you want. On top of that, it can do this thing. You can turn silent. The watch can be totally silent. It's as complicated as it gets, and the price tag reflects that. These are crazy watches. This will be a long video, so if you just want the top 10, please skip ahead using the timestamps. So that was all of my intro. You know the watch types now, and we can just go through the watches. So let's give that a try. I'm a little nervous for the technical situation, but we'll see how it goes. In 79th place, the recipient of the lowest score of all the watches is the Pindu Melody, and it has the crime of having a non-functional chime. They're homaging the Jacob & Company Godfather watch, but it doesn't make any sound. So save your $172. They call it the Melody. That's skeezy. It's the only one like that. All the other watches make sound, at least. That was my last place. 78th place. $1 million watch. Scoring horribly on my scoring system is the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Grande Complication. And everyone's going to tune out because I'm saying $1 million watch is a horrible dress watch. My analysis is really to determine how good of a dress watch it is. And it's a 44 left to right. With all this case, it has a feel of a 50. Okay, it's a ridiculous watch. 56 millimeter lug to lug. It's gigantic. It's 15 thick. That's actually not crazy for a chiming watch. And yeah, it does everything in the world. It's a Grande Complication. It's $1 million. Very impressive technically. not a great dress watch for actually wearing to formal events. If you're a millionaire on a yacht, I guess that's great. Although you only have 20 meters water resistance. Are these pushers screwed in? For what reason? It's 20 meters water resistance. Anyway, final score 56. 77th place is the Merkur alarm watch. $400. It's a 38 millimeter, 14 thick, and it will indeed buzz your wrist when it hits that alarm. I've got a recording. Let's take a listen. There you go. It's buzzing away like crazy. So that was the Merkur alarm watch. I'm going to be putting these headphones on. I can't hear it otherwise. I think we're done with Merkur. These will get better. I'm doing the worst at the beginning to build excitement. What is going to be the best watch? I tried that in the last video. You guys, nobody said anything, so I'm going to assume it was okay. It's good. I want to do whatever you guys like the most. Okay, 76th place is the Hublot Big Bang Tourbillon Chronograph Cathedral. Yeah, it's got a tourbillon. I mean, these watches are insane. Totally insane. Feels weird to give it a failing grade, but I do as a dress watch. I mean, okay, it's a ceramic case. It's ugly black. It's got blocky case penalty, rubber strap. It's humongous, 48.6 millimeter feel. It's just going to be gigantic. And unfortunately, I don't have a recording of this one. Couldn't find one. 460, not recommended. Another crazy watch. My goodness. Okay, the 75th place is the Alonga and Zona Grande Complication. $2.6 million. Insane. 50 millimeter width. I mean, these are all hypothetical. Would this hypothetically make a great dress watch? It's 50 millimeters. It's 20 millimeters thick. No, of course not. It's not a great dress watch. Also, someone's going to take it and you're going to lose $2.6 million. So no, don't get this watch. But I think I have a recording if you want to hear. Jumping second, Rothschild.
Once you finished interaction between the other complications.
It sounded okay. I mean, it was kind of tinny, wasn't it? It's full of all this stuff. So you're not going to get good resonance. It's packed full of all this other stuff. So it's below average sounding chime. 2.6 mil. Yeah, not recommended. Score 61. 74th place is the Patek Philippe 6300 Grandmaster chime. Tacky is all get out. Garish design penalty. Good grief. 5.6. I think this is the most expensive of all. It's probably the most expensive watch that was ever made or something. Who knows? Crazy watch. Do I have a recording? I'm worried these recordings are going to get boring. Emeralds everywhere. Crazy lugs. The lug to lug is 67. I have a watch with a lug to lug of 60, and that hangs over my wrist. So 67. Who can wear this watch? Nobody. It's ridiculous. All right, let's listen to the recording. Whoa. Funky. That sounded like Westminster almost, but not quite. Yeah, it's not really a Westminster, but that was really fancy. Didn't really sound in tune to me. It sounded bizarre. Score 63, not recommended. 73rd place is the Roger Dubois Excalibur Grand Complication. Thought I ran out of space. There's plenty more. $851,000. Good grief. It's huge. I mean, most of these ones that aren't passing, they're huge. They're like kind of ugly and got the rubber strap. That's no good. It's got crown guards inexplicably. 17.5 thick. Good grief. I mean, these watches are on the larger size. All the chiming watches are thicker. And so I adjusted the scoring system a little for this video to give a little more room for thickness, but this is still kind of crazy. 17.5 is totally crazy. Let's listen to that recording. Here we go. Cool. Yeah, not bad. Kind of a weird format. It's not the typical minute repeater, but okay. It was clear at least. I ruled that it was a clear sound, unlike that Longa that was twangy. Final score of 65, not recommended. 72nd place is the Roger Dubois Excalibur minute repeater. Oh, the last one was a Grande Complication. This one's $125,000 cheaper. Okay, something like that. My math is approximate here. Otherwise, same everything else. It scored slightly higher. Why is that? Who knows? Oh, it scored slightly higher because it's a different metal. So it got a smaller penalty for weight, but it also didn't get the bonuses of the perpetual calendar and all that stuff. Anyway, let's not hyperanalyze it. I will play the recording for you. It's pretty. I like that case back. A lot of overtones there. Cool. Score 66, not recommended. 71st place. The first one it's possible for me to recommend, if you take it off that bracelet, is the Seiko Bellmatic 4006. Only 280 bucks. These things are all over eBay, so you can definitely get them. You'll have to get them used. Seiko doesn't make it anymore. And there's always risks with buying from eBay, of course. But the width is great, 37.5. Thickness is kind of large, 15. Definitely getting penalized for that. I mean, it's the lowest scoring one I can even recommend. And it's an alarm, and it buzzes. I think it looks pretty cool, too. I don't know why they discontinued them. The movement seems very complicated because you're going to have to set the alarm with the crown, the same one that does the day and the date and the time setting. And it's probably a pretty complicated movement. It just wasn't cost effective anymore. Let's take a listen to that buzz. All right, there's the alarm. I think you get the point. Oh, and we get to see on the inside. Let's take a look. Yeah, look at that hammer going crazy. That's really cool. I mean, I'm thinking about getting one of these. That's a really cool thing it does. Total score of 67. 70th place is the Omega Speedmaster Chrono Chime. $627,900, 45 millimeters across, 17.3 thick. Beautiful tachometer with stone, and the stone dial. They cut away for the chime so you can see that. You do get a chronograph with it as well. Oh, that is really cool. The thing is just so large. It's a 45, and it's 17.3 thick. That is ridiculous for a dress watch. The only way I can even suggest you would try to wear it as a dress watch is if you take it off the bracelet. I didn't cover it in this video because I don't want to beat a dead horse to death. But my point is that leather is better for a suit than some kind of bracelet. Well, if you have a jacket like this with the fake brass buttons, maybe you can go either way. But if you're actually wearing a tux or something, leather is so much better. So bracelets penalized on the scoring system. Let's take a look at the case back. This is the first case back. There it is. Beautiful, just rose gold everywhere. It's gonna be heavy. Might not be this heavy. I approximate the weight, which is actually really hard to do with just a diameter measurement and a thickness and a case material, because there's so many other factors involved. I mean, I do take into account the bracelet and the movement type, but you can only get so close. With these precious metals, sometimes I'm overestimating the weight, but it is going to be heavy, really heavy. All right, let's listen to the recording. Oh, it's one of these promotional videos. Darn it. Wow, sounds amazing. But is that what it's going to sound like in your hands? Yeah, hard to tell if it's really going to sound that good in person. But I said it was a clear sounding minute repeater. It's a cool one. It's a chronometer too. Score 67. 69th place is the Delcona Chiming watch. The 39 millimeter, but it has a feel of 42.7. Yeah, this was kind of a Kickstarter. I covered it in my Kickstarter video not too long ago. I don't really recommend it. It's a Sonnerie au passage, so just once an hour you'll hear it. Well, maybe it'll sound like that, maybe not. People's reviews say you can barely hear the darn thing. That doesn't really surprise me. You don't want to get a cheap one of these. You're just not going to be able to hear the chime. I think it'll be disappointing. Comes on the silicone. Hypothetically, if you could swap it, you could get it up to passing. But they don't offer other straps. They just offer bracelet and silicone. So this one's not recommended. Score 68. 68th place is the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Super Sonnerie. And it's 42 left to right, but it has a much huger feel, as these all do, with all this case. Look at how far the case goes. It's just a ton of case, even if you put it on a leather strap, which I know you can get leather straps for Audemars Piguets. It's $474,000, 14 thick. Where is my thickness penalty? Okay, not too crazy. It's not a gigantic penalty for 14. On the traditional dress watch series, it would have been a much bigger penalty. Got the beautiful petite tapisserie here. The Royal Oak is so iconic, with that porthole dial here. Caseback is not going to be exciting whatsoever. And look at this thing. It would have been cooler to see the movement. Maybe this allows it to have more volume. Got 30 meters water resistance. Oh, the case is ceramic. That's really interesting. Let's see why the weight isn't too high. Oh, it's on silicone too. Okay. All right, well, let's hear the recording. All right, here's the recording. It actually sounds amazing. Really nice. So clear. That is fantastic. I ruled that it was clear, not twangy. It can either be clear or twangy. Those are the two options. It's just a 1 point difference. Because it is hard to tell on recordings. But I did want to favor ones that actually sounded nice on the recording, and this one sounds really good. Score 69. 62nd place is the Jacob and Company Opera Godfather. A ridiculous watch. Not actually that crazy expensive. And it is a minute repeater. You can chime this thing to get the minutes. I don't know if it does the piano thing every single time. It has a 3-axis tourbillon. So even more complicated than a regular 2-dimensional tourbillon. This one goes in 3 dimensions. Totally insane. This whole movement actually rotates too. It's ridiculous what this thing does. All right, let's look at the video because that's what you guys want to see. Here we go. Okay, kind of dinky, but it's cool to have. All right, let's check out the next one. That was the minute repeater. Yeah, and I'm not seeing the movement turn, the dial turn. I know on some of these it actually does, so I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, that was the Jacob and Company Opera Godfather. They have different versions of this. You know, the musical part of it sounded kind of funky. That was their official one too. So it's not super high quality. I mean, there's only so much you can do with these little, what do they call that? The thumb piano deal. It sounds kind of dinky, but very cool party trick. Godfather watch case back is really cool. I guess you wind it here, maybe? Beautiful movement. These gears are really cool. And Jacob and Company makes some really interesting watches, that is for sure. Score of 69. Not recommended to wear to your formal events. Maybe you make an exception. Its specs do not entitle it to be passing my scoring system with this ridiculous size and all that stuff. And the weight, good grief. 20 millimeters thick. Ridiculous. Maybe I forgot to put in the crystal dome height. That factors into the weight calculation. All right, let's go to the next one. It's going to be a long video, I can tell. 66th place is the Franck Muller Eternitas 4. 42 this way, 51 this way. Ridiculous. Lug to lug of 51.1. Yeah, the feel is going to be like a 48. Very big, very thick, 19. This thing has 37 complications. I don't think it's technically the most complicated watch that exists. I don't know what that is. It's in this video, for sure. Maybe we already saw it. Maybe it was the $5.6 million one from Longa and Zona. But yeah, it's insanely complicated. I think it looks kind of ugly, unfortunately. Let's take a listen. Yeah, 2.7 million. Good grief. I apologize, viewers. I could not find a recording of this. It is super rare. There's probably only 1 or 2 in the world. So yeah, we're not getting a recording. Oh, I can show you the case back though. The case back is really, really cool. Like that a lot. Not passing, score 69. 65th place is the Oris Artelier Alarm. $3,649, 42 millimeters, 14 thick. It is an alarm watch, and you can see that right here in the center. I like how they did this because you want a different track for the alarm than for the regular timekeeping. Because you want, what is this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 marks instead of 4 marks. So that helps you find the middle, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. It's just better this way. Allows for more precision. A little bit ugly, I'll be honest. I did find a listing to buy one of these things new. It looks very dated to me. Can't really see from this picture, but they have some really cool guilloche pattern in the middle. Just kind of a circular pattern here that looks really nice. So if you swap it out the strap, I'd say it's recommended. We're getting less pink, less dark colors on the scorecard. Let's listen to that alarm. All right, there's that alarm. No surprises there. Cool. Yeah, what more to say? If you want a watch to make noise, this one's sort of approachable. These watches are so expensive. Final score is 70. 64th place is the Panerai Radiomir Minute Repeater, and it's a 49 left to right. It's gonna have a feel like a 52. Just incredibly huge watch. I do like the black. That really does make the movement look interesting. Does it have a tourbillon? It does. It has a tourbillon. There's some skeletonization here. Open worked and skeletonized. Little mesh pattern here. The case back is really cool. It's a beautiful case back. See those 3 chimes? That's nice. You don't get that very often. Really like that. Yeah, I got a bonus there for having 3 tones on the minute repeater. for the quarters. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. So we had 45 minutes based on that example we heard. Really cool. It's just way too big to be a viable dress watch. Great showing off watch, though, that's for sure. Score of 70. And the tone was really nice, too. 63rd place is the Pouliot Alarm 1-113. There's a lot of these different Pouliots. They've got some Pouliot movement, in-house movement. Most of the watches in this video have an in-house movement because you can't get these off the shelf. You know, chiming or alarm movements. It's going to be something special. It's only 12 thick. It's 38 millimeters. Didn't quite make it, though. There's too much pink extraneous text. The mineral crystal. You have the low brand strength for Pouliot. But we can hear it. Let's take a listen. There you go. Going crazy here. It's just hitting the side of the case. Sure you'll feel that on the wrist. Goes and goes and goes. Really cool. Price of entry is only $200. If you want the cheapest watch in the video, this is the one. Not recommended as a dress watch. Score 71. 62nd place is the Lucky Harvey Guilloche Chiming watch. It's a 40 left to right, but it's going to have a feel more like a 43.3. That's one of the reasons out of the box, not recommended. I don't think you're going to find some proprietary strap thing to swap it with either. So it's just a straight not recommend. The dial looks amazing. People say it's very, very quiet, which makes sense. There's a ton of case here that's just going to deaden that sound. And with a lot of these, you can make them chime on demand. You just want to hear the sound. You can just press a button and hear the chime. And then one of these will be to turn on or off the alarm. One will be silent or active. And again, it's a sonnerie passage, so just when it passes the 12. Sounds good. Yeah, no problems with the sound. That was nice. But not recommended as a dress watch. Score of 71. 61st place is the Meistersinger Belle Aura. It's really sad to see it not passing. It didn't pass in the single hand watch video. It was just too big and stuff. And then it's not passing here as a chiming watch either. Oh, Meistersinger. Yeah, I mean, once I started looking at all these watches, I can't recommend the Meistersinger Belle Aura. Sorry. You can hear the chime though. Play that for you. No problem with the chime. I mean, it does what it's supposed to do. The Christopher Ward Bel Canto is cheaper, though. Much better dress watch than this one. I'm sorry, Meistersinger. Yeah, they do have some viable options. Again, see that single hand video if you want to know what the okay Meistersingers are. This is not one of them, unfortunately. I don't recommend it. Really big, 50 millimeter lug to lug. It's just huge. I don't recommend it. Score of 71. 60th place is the Radcliffe L'Instant Sonnerie. And yeah, it's some kind of alternative format here. I guess you could kind of call it a regulator. It's a type of regulator where the minute hand and hour hand are separated. But it's also sonnerie à passage. So you get one chime when the minute hand goes past those double zeros there. Let's take a listen to the recording. All right, here we go. There you go. It's a promotional video, but sounds pretty good. It's clear. Yeah, and this is their image on the website. Very poor quality. I don't understand. Not passing. I don't think it's a great dress watch. It's way too thick, 16 millimeters. Score 71. 59th place is the Ulysse Nardin Blast Hour Striker. It's a 45 millimeter. It's going to wear larger because of all this case stuff going on. I put it with a feel more like a 49. Unsightly crown guards. You know, with these buttons here, it might be on demand. So it does get the same score as a minute repeater. It's not quite as cool as a minute repeater, but it is very cool. Let's listen to what that sounds like.
So if I go ahead and push it, you can hear the chime on demand.
All right, you get the idea.
Bottom,
it's pretty good.
Push this.
Turns
chime
on and off.
back.
It actually seems more complicated than a minute repeater. Like you're going to get the chimes at the top of the hour and you can hear all the hours. That is very cool. But due to the gigantic size and all that stuff, not recommended as a dress watch. It's not very dressy. Ulysse Nardin has a very, very plain case back. Yeah, you can't see anything that's going on. They let you know that it's 18 karat gold here and titanium apparently. So this weight is probably a little bit lower. Score of 71, not recommended. 58th place is the Jacques Dro bird repeater. This thing is so cool. There's all kinds of animatronics, which I'll show you. Crazy price, over $500,000. And it's huge, 19 millimeters, gigantic dome and everything. So it's not practical. Do not get it, in my opinion, unless you just really like the watch. But it's not a great dress watch. Take a listen to that recording. Sounds clear. And look at all this. The wings, there's little insects moving everywhere. Really cool. Yeah, really cool watch. Gigantic dome crystal. Case back, compared to some of the other ones, is looking a little bit plain. They put a nice little G clef here. That's nice. I like that. I mean, it's way cooler than any case back I own. Definitely pleasing. Again, not recommended for your formal event due to gigantic size mostly. Score 71. There's other reasons though. The really top ones are great on multiple levels. It's not all just about size. 57th place is the Nivrel Heritage Alarm. Only 28 hundo. It's on the lower end in this crazy video. Great size, 37.8. Reasonable thickness, like a normal watch, not 19 millimeters thick and stuff. But it still doesn't pass the class. Some of it here is brand strength. You know, if it had just a little bit more brand strength, it would have been up to recommend. 73 is the threshold. But let's take a listen to that alarm. Seems quite loud. All right, he's trying to show the hammer there. I don't know if we're going to see it. That was cool. I like that. And it says restored here with the movement. This is some kind of old school movement that they've restored. So that's pretty cool. Just underneath. They can't all be winners. 56th place is the Armin Strom minute repeater. Beautiful. $500,000. It is just absolutely gorgeous. This is an amazing watch. Twangy. See the wires that it bangs on they're looking pretty rough. They're looking small too. They didn't go all the way around the outside. I'm sure that contributes to the twanginess, but I'll let you hear for yourself. See if you think it's twangy. Here we go. It's kind of twangy. Oh, that is cool. It's got resonance. Yeah, it doesn't sound all that great to me. Looks beautiful though. That's a beautiful one. I think I have the case back too. Case back is gorgeous. I love the different colors of metals. Ton of cool stuff going on. You can see that mechanism for the minute repeater so well. That is really darn cool. Apparently has grade 2 titanium. That can't be. Probably grade 5, which would make it recommend. Maybe I made a mistake here. It's surely recommended if it has a grade 5 titanium. Score of 72. 55th place is the Vacheron Constantin Overseas Grande Complication. This is the open worked version of it. Really cool. I mean, I love the overseas design. It's got the industrial thing, but it also has some elegance to it as well. They struck a good balance. I don't know why that is. It does indeed look industrial, but I think these look so classy. It's $1 million. Crazy. It's really huge too. Even though it's like a 45, I'm saying it has a feel more like a 47 with the case, the integrated bracelet thing. Only 13.1. So that's good. They're going to get thinner. This is a good example. It's passing, and it would even get a higher score if you put it on leather. That would be classy to do. I think they allow you to do that. I mean, it'll be proprietary, but I think you can still swap it to leather. Case back is really nice. Love the different colors. I love these like dark gray plate here. You can clearly see the chime. Very pleasing. Let's listen to the recording. Ooh, nice. Sounds really good, and you can see the tourbillon from the back. Beautiful. I don't know what this... Oh, power reserve in the back. Really nice. Total score 73. 54th place is the H. Moser & Company Streamliner Minute Repeater. And it's a 42.3. Case is not exactly circular, so I'm saying a feel like a 44.4. $319,500. 14.4 thick. Get a tourbillon. Get a beautiful gradient dial. Textured. That looks wonderful. There's some really nice shots of it. You can see the chiming mechanism from the front. That's really nice. I like that. I'm saying it has a clear sounding minute repeater. Beautiful case back. I love the gold with the dark plates here. Really interesting architecture. I hope that's the right word. I'm not a certified professional horologist by any means, but I can appreciate the beauty of this thing. All right, let's listen to the recording. That's right to the chase. Beautiful chime. It's really nice, and you can see the dial here. They chose a major second. Yeah, that's not the best. I prefer a third or even a fourth. Some of them do fourths. It's very pleasing though. Very pleasing tone. Very sonorous. Yeah, I like it. It's a little funky. They have a classier looking version that scores a little higher. Hand winding movement. This one has a score of 74. Recommended. 53rd place is the IWC Portugieser Grande Complication. Only 156,000 bucks. And look, you've got the perpetual calendar, the moon phase, chronograph, and minute repeater. Whew, that's a screaming deal. It really is. If you look at other ones, I mean, to get a Grande Complication for that price, it's out of my price range and price range of anybody I've ever known, but not bad. IWC. Very thick though. Really, really thick. 16.5. But it's on the lower end of recommended. Case back is extremely plain, unfortunately. That was a missed opportunity. I'm sure the case back is really cool. This probably deadens the sound more than a crystal would. Let's take a listen to that minute repeater. Beautiful tone. I mean, he's got the mic right there, but that sounds wonderful. The perfect fourth. That's nice. One of the best sounding chimes I've heard. Very, very nice. Score of 74. 52nd place is the Grubel Forzi Grand Sonnerie. 1.4 mil. Dang. 43.5. Well, and you can't disregard the extra 40,000 on top of it. That's a lot. Dang. 16.1 thick. All kinds of crazy stuff everywhere. Looking like some sort of scientific instrument. I mean, this is really loud. So it's not very dressy. I think, 6 out of 10. Maybe that should have been lower for the elegant vibe. It's not looking very elegant to me. Case back is really cool. They printed a novel here on the rotor. And it's sort of like a micro rotor. It probably qualifies. Although it's still 16 thick. Very interesting case back. Let's listen to the recording. Beautiful. I love seeing the little coil here. That's nice. Man, that's a cool one. Even though my purported objective of this exercise is to find the best minute repeater, these are all super cool watches. The fact that they do it. I mean, and it's a Grande Sonnerie too, so it'll chime the other times as well. That is really darn cool. This one's a grade 5 titanium. Yeah, that's a lot higher score than grade 2. Score of 74. 51st place is the Speak Marin minute repeater Carry On. 414,000 bucks, 42 across, 16 thick. Oh, some people call them carillons. Oh, that's probably right, carillon. Yeah, carillon is this instrument, you see them in some cities sometimes. Very cool. It got the loud colors penalty. This is so cheesy. I really dislike this up here. And it looks kind of rough too. Doesn't do it for me. The pictures, other pictures I've seen really don't look that great of this. I think they have one that's a sapphire case. That one's probably a lot more expensive. And the case back is a lot plainer than the dial. Just this gigantic plate, 3/4 plate maybe, a huge plate. Nice big hammers here. Ooh, 3 tones. That'll be interesting. Let's take a listen. Okay, they've got dramatic music. Hopefully that's not too loud. Yeah, it would have been nice to hear the chime without all that. But yeah, there's 3 tones. That's pretty cool. Okay, yeah, dial's really not doing it for me. I like the club hand here. That's pretty cool. I mean, it's a cool watch for sure, but not for me. Score of 75. 50th place is the Bulgari Octo Finissimo minute repeater. 40 left to right. Feel more like a 47 though. This is crazy what they did with the case. Blocky case. If any watch deserves a blocky case penalty, it's this one. Yeah, it's more avant-garde. Not a dressy thing to do though. A fashion thing to do. This is also kind of weird here. The lug situation is very strange. Sailcloth strap, of course, is not dressy whatsoever. The case is also super rough. Thickness is only 6.9 though. That is absolutely insane. I think that might be the thinnest one in the video. That is ridiculous. Case back is really cool. Really intricate movement. Ton of perlage around here. Looks wonderful. Yeah, it's clearly a hand winding movement. All right, let's listen to that chime. Beautiful. That's excellent. Good rhythm, pretty much. It got a little fast at the end. It was hard to evaluate on rhythm because I And that's not including the scorecard. But, you know, do you want the last ones to be faster? There's a good cadence overall. It's definitely a cool one. Score of 75. 49th place, the Hazeman and Monin Montre Ecole Suscription. 74,500 bucks, 39 millimeters, 15 thick, really thick. Beautiful what they did here. It looks so simple. It's similar to that Christopher Ward. Christopher Ward is one that so many are judged by because they really hit it out of the park. This one's similar sort of thing. You get to see the mechanism right from the front. It actually has a jump hour. And then one of these is the minutes. Probably this one's the minute, and that's the running seconds. But so it's kind of a regulator thing going on. Kind of a jump hour thing going on too. I guess both of those things. Unfortunately, I don't have a case back, and I also don't have a recording of this one, but it's a Sonnerie au passage. So anytime this goes to the 12, you'll just hear a single chime. Really cool though. I think it got some awards. Score 76. 48th place is the Tutema Homage 6800-02. $181,000. 43 millimeters across, 13.4 millimeters thick. This is the first one I've chosen to go to the runoffs. There's 25 watches in the runoff. It's the top 5 high scoring and 20 other wild cards. This is a wild card or a finalist, however you want to think about it. Beautiful. I mean, gold is great for a dress watch. It's a really classy thing to do. Yeah, I took that opportunity to put on the gold dress watch I have that was Grandpa's, 34 millimeter, which is great for a dress watch. 43 is not so great with these crown guards. So this has its shortcomings. It's only a score 76. The case back is fantastic. Just beautiful what they did here. All right, let's listen to the chime. Ooh. I know it's a different dial format, but this one's, it's the same movement inside. Good grief, you wait all day. Wow. Those are so slow. I know there's a lot of background noise. Finally, we get the minutes. Okay, you get the idea with that recording. Sorry, it was kind of loud. Yeah, the gears are just ridiculously loud. And then it takes an eternity to hear the chime. I couldn't wait so long. This is the open face version, which is scored separately. But like I said, it's got the same minute repeater. Yeah, the chime is really not great on it. One of the worst in the video, I'll be honest. That does not bode well for its prospects at the end, because I do score the chimes, and that's got really low one. It says clear. I don't know. It's only 1 point difference between clear and twangy, but yeah, it's not the best. Still recommended though, score of 76. 47th place is the Breguet 7800 Classique La Musicale, 128,900 bucks, 48 millimeters, 16.7. And this is an alarm watch. It's not a minute repeater. I think you can play the alarm on demand if you want to hear it, but it is an alarm, and it's a melody alarm. It sounds so good. It looks beautiful. Unfortunately, it is gigantic, and that definitely contributes to its lower score. But it will be a finalist. The case back is super plain. Got some holes in here, I think, so you can actually try to hear the melody. Be very quiet. But let's listen to that melody. Stop teasing it. That is so cool. It's a thieving magpie. Beautiful. Yeah. Let it play a little longer because that was such a beautiful tune. I played this for my wife because that's probably the coolest melody in this whole video. It's so beautiful, so in tune. The rhythm is good. I asked her, how much do you think this watch costs? She said $1,000. So I told her a much higher price than this. I didn't remember the correct price. But yeah, I mean, she had no idea why a watch would cost this much money. And it's a fair point. She was thinking, why not just get a flip phone from the 90s? And you could hear the thieving magpie. It's a fair point. But, you know, if you want the mechanical thing, here it is. Score 76. And much cooler than a lot of other chiming watches that cost a lot more than this, in my opinion, from a musical standpoint. All right, 46th place is the Tutema Homage 6800-01. The other one was the 02. This one got a slightly higher score. There's a lot of different things between the two models. This one has the skeleton dial, obviously. And I won't play the recording again because it's the same darn recording we heard before, where it takes an eternity to hear it do its actual minute repeater sequence. and the gear system is just deafening and everything. But I prefer the other model. Score of 77. 45th place is the Handboro mechanical alarm. Only $389, 41.5 across, 12 millimeters thick. And although it says alarm, it's actually a sonnerie, a passage. You hear it when it passes the 12, approximately. You know, it's Chinese. It's not going to be super high quality. Who knows what kind of movement's in here? Hangzhou or something. But they say it has 904L steel. That's kind of funny. Bunch of weird colors. The red on the crown. What are they going for? Is this supposed to be a dress watch? It's got a nice strap, but otherwise it's looking just weird. Ring the bell. And you could probably ring it on demand here too. Or maybe that probably just turns the alarm on and off. I don't even know if this signifies anything. I don't think it changes. I think this is just printed on the dial. Pretty cheesy. I'll play the sound for you. All right, happen any day now. There you go. With somebody's power tools in the background. Somebody's got a circular saw. Yeah, it reached the top of the hour. Their second is not quite aligned, but there you go. So it's not an alarm, it's a sonnerie. Yeah, I would honestly pass on this one, but I included it in the video, and it did pass. It's got a reasonable size, which a lot of these don't. Make it work. Normally I'd say 42 is too big for a dress watch, but there's allowance here for the fact that these are more complicated. Score 78. 44th place is the Habring Squared 5-minute repeater. Does that refer to how it works? I'm not sure. $24,200, 42 millimeters across, 13.5 thick. It's looking pretty rough. This is not good here. This plate, the skeletonized plate thing, open worked. It's looking really rough to me. And all this out here is looking not great. There's a hand winding movement. Case back looks pretty nice. Beautiful decoration here on the, probably has some sort of suggestive name to it. I forget what this is called. It definitely has a suggestive name. Take a listen. I said it was twangy. Oh, I just noticed the 8th note here. That's pretty cool. Oh, I get it. So you get one of those. You get one of those for every 5 minutes. Oof, that's rough. Dang. Yeah, I think it's better to do it the other way. Do 15-minute increments and just make up the difference. But there you go. It's a 5-minute repeater. Decent option. Score of 78. 43rd place, a beautiful one. I've chosen it as a finalist. The IWC Portuguese minute repeater. Great thing they did at IWC. I'm impressed with their fine watchmaking. $89,100, 44.2 across, 14 thick. It is on the thicker side. 18 karat gold, minute repeater. It's a hand winding movement. This is really classy. I love these hands. Kind of an opaline dial. Case back looks nice. A lot of perlage. Wow, that's going to be really easy to regulate this thing. This long little needle here showing you slow fast. That's really nice. I'll say the word. This one has a very plain balance cock. The other one had a very decorated one. All right, let's listen to the minute repeater. I don't think I'll say that again. That's what it's called. Ah, beautiful. That is excellent. So clear. It sounds like a bell. I don't know how they did it. IWC is a standout here. They do it a lot better than most other minute repeaters. Yeah, that was very impressive. And it looks really classy too. The only downside here is that size, but minute repeaters are just going to be bigger. Score of 78. 42nd place is the Patek Philippe 5520 alarm travel time. So it's got a lot of stuff going on here. $293,199, 42.2 across, 11.6 thick. Looking very piloty, not very dressy. You've got this extra hand, this fourth hand for your travel time. Shows you day, night for local and home. Very cool watch. And this is the minute date down here, date. It's got a million things on it. Not crazy either. Oh, but it's not a minute repeater, so it's not quite as complex in terms of the chiming function. Do I have it recording? It says I do. Clear sounding alarm. Before we listen to it, let's look at the case back. Cool. Really nice plate geometry here. Or architecture, rather. Sorry, we say architecture. Looks nice. Of course, it's got that Patek engraving. Listen to that recording. Very clear alarm. That sounds beautiful. Thank you, Tim Masso with the 1916 company. Thank you, sir. It sounds great. Wonderful alarm. Definitely a nice one. Score of 78. 41st place is the Girard Perregaux minute repeater. $608,795. Dang. 45 across. It's large. 15.9 thick. Massive watch. Tons of open work stuff to look at. It's got a tourbillon as well. You can see those little hammers from the front. See some jewels from the front. It's really impressive. Case back is not quite as interesting as the front. It kind of makes sense when they go for that open worked deal. Of course, you can see through the tourbillon. Let's listen to that minute repeater. Oh, I say it's twangy. See if that's right. Guess that was it. Yeah, you can see the sharp bends here. I think that detracts from the sound. I don't think that's as pleasing. Pretty sure I can hear the difference there. Cool one. The gold one does look a little bit nicer than this, what is this, grade 5 titanium. But of course with the titanium, it's going to be a lot lighter. Way, way lighter. Estimating only 77 grams for this massive watch. That's pretty darn good. Total score of 78. 40th place is the Van Cleef & Arpels Midnight Poetic Wish. $461,342. 43 millimeters. It's kind of big. 14.4 thick. And you've got diamonds all over the place. This is the craziest darn watch. They show a time right now, 3:30 or something. But most of the time, I think this guy is all the way back. And this star is all the way back. I think the only time you can see the time is when you actually chime it. And it only shows you for a second. So that's really not very practical. I'll show you the case back, then we can listen to it. Case back is pretty plain. And it's too bad because there's a really interesting movement underneath. And what is all this here? What am I looking at? I cannot tell what this is here. I don't know what the deal is. Weird. All right, let's listen to that recording. Before I play it, it's going to give you all the hours, and then it's going to give you every 5 minutes. So let's take a listen. 10, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait. Oh, 10:25. So the time is 10:25, and then it goes back. Yeah, and this is apparently its resting state. It's just you get no information. Not ideal. What else to say? It's kind of a cool one. Very quiet, it sounded like. Score of 78. 39th place is the Vacheron Constantin Solaria. $5 million. 45 millimeters across. Only 15 thick. And they squeezed a lot in here. 41 complications. I think this is the most of any watch, like, in the world. I think this is it for 5 mil. It's only 15. We saw watches that were 20 and stuff. So they kept it slim, I guess. Grade 5 titanium, so it's not going to be too heavy. The back has all these extra complications, too. I have no idea what all this is. Northwest. Good grief, there's a compass or something. Yeah, read the user manual for this one. My goodness. But it is also a minute repeater, and it has 4 tones. So let's take a listen. Oh, so it's a Westminster. Sweet. Let's take a listen. Okay. It's really too bad they had all that music on while it was happening. Sort of like a Westminster chime. Oh, but they had weird music in the background in a totally different key. Why? Why do that? That's really unfortunate. Okay. Well, it's a cool watch. That's the only recording I could find. Because, I mean, how many guys have a $5 million watch and they're like, oh, let me show you how it sounds on YouTube. Anyway, that's it. Score of 78. Technically, I guess you could wear it to your formal event. 38th place is the JLC Master Control Memo Box. $15,900 only. A bargain compared to the $5 million watches. 40 millimeters across, 12.4 thick. Also seeming slim compared to some of these other ones. And yeah, this is a classic. It's an alarm watch. And love how they have the disc in the middle instead of a fourth hand. It looks really nice. Beautiful strap it comes with. It definitely looks dressy. Why didn't I put it as a finalist? Yeah, this is a nice one. Case back looks handsome enough. Really nice rotor. Interesting movement here. Let's listen to that alarm. There you go. Ooh,
That's how that works.
that was really nice for an alarm. Okie dokie. You get actual alligator leather. Yeah, this is a nice one. It's a lot of money. Its biggest competitor is probably that Vulcain Cricket. Yeah, that Vulcain is a third of the price. Score of 79. 37th place is the Hermes Arcade Duc Autel. $400,400, 43 millimeters across, 19.9 thick. I think it has a really big dome on it. Oh man, triple axis tourbillon right in the middle. That is so cool. These hammers are really interesting. Love how they did the hands here. This must be the hour. That's the minute. Hopefully that's correct. Beautiful watch. And they did like a tuning fork style. So it's got two prongs on both of these. Bet that sounds wonderful. I said it was clear. I'm sure it is. Titanium case. I do wonder which is more resonant, titanium or steel. This one is a minute repeater. Case back is so stunning. What is going on here? I've never seen two gears like this right there. What is that for? Okay, here's the crown. Okay, so it's just a mirror. I don't know what those two gears are for. Okay, here's the ratchety thing for the minute repeater. It looks so cool though. All right, let's take a listen. All right. I didn't talk because I'm going to want to boost that sound so you can hear it. It was very quiet. Really cool to see that tourbillon going, though. Very cool. There's so many cool watches in this video, and they can't all win. And please, just don't take it too seriously. The main purpose of the video is just to show you a bunch of cool watches. But I will say what the top 10 are, in my opinion. All right, let's go to the next one. 36th place, the Jacques Dro Grand Second Minute Repeater. Probably what it should say there. $203,000. 43 millimeters across, 13.2 thick. This one is one of the finalists. I love the G-clef here. That looks wonderful. Jacques Dro, this format is so iconic. Really like it. Their crown is really interesting. Nice, tasteful little minute repeater paddle, whatever that's supposed to be called. Caseback is relatively plain. It is an automatic movement, so unfortunately you have that rotor. That is one nice thing with the hand winding ones is you get to see more of that movement. See the little hammers there. And unfortunately for this one, I could not find a recording. It's kind of obscure. It's even hard to find pictures of it. It looks really nice though. Score 79. You know what? I did find a recording because for the top 25, I looked a little deeper. I think I have a recording. Let's see if I do. Yes, I found one. That sounds really good. Oh man, that's one of the better chimes. Sweet. Total score of 79. 35th place is the FP Jaune Sonnerie. Oh, this is misspelled. Souverain. $750,000. Good grief. 750,000, 42 millimeters across, 12.5 thick. Again, this is really iconic. I love FP Jaune, what they do here. It's so classy, so cool. Very distinctive as well. I think there might be some other colors, but I didn't have them on the scorecard. Nice alligator leather, white gold. That price is a cue that it's not just a minute repeater, it's a Grand Sonnerie. Caseback is drop dead gorgeous. Beautiful plates here. It's probably also gold in here. It's just gold everywhere. Oh, that's really cool. What is this thing? I don't know. Anyway, let's take a listen. Wow, that sounded really nice. I like that. Beautiful watch, beautiful sounding chime as well. Very excellent. And you've got your Grande, your Silent, and your Petite. And you can do on demand with one of these pushers here too. Very cool. Score 79. 34th place is the Patek Philippe 1938P minute repeater. $992,000. Practically $1 million. With tax, over $1 million. 41 millimeters across, 14.2 thick. And this one is both a minute repeater and an alarm. So you get both of those things. I don't know if I have a recording of both. This button here does something, I'm sure. Probably activates or deactivates the alarm function, which unlike that Chinese one, it's not just a printing on the dial. It's going to actually change when you do something here. And I forget the guy's name. Philippe Stern? I'll read to you from Patek Philippe's website. It says, the Stern family. By passing down the helm from one generation to the next since 1932, the Stern family has been the guardian of Patek Philippe values and know-how while successfully ensuring the continuous development of the company and its timepieces. The first generation, Charles and Jean Stern. Okay, so Charles and Jean Stern acquired Patek Philippe in 1932. Pretty cool. 0 meters water resistance, enamel dial. You get this guy's face on the watch. Platinum case, good grief. It has this nice little cover over the case back. Micro rotor movement with Philippe Stern's autograph on here. Let's listen to that chime. Okay, so here's the alarm. Wait. There's the minute repeater. Cool. So what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 plus 15 is 20. This is kind of hard. 15 plus 7. You have to do math. It's 122. I think that's what we heard at chime. I wonder if people who have this really get good at telling what the time is just from chimes. You have to practice, I would think. Cool watch. It's $1 million. It's the first good grade watch. Score of 80, B minus. Oh, I love this one. 33rd place is the Allonga in Zona Zeitwerk minute repeater. $565,520. 44.2 across. 14.1 thick. 18 karat gold. I don't think it's just straight gold. I don't know which one this is. It doesn't look like pink gold. Some kind of flavor of gold that's not just straight gold. Well, none of these are straight gold. They're always 18 karat. They're always just 3/4 gold and then something else mixed with it. Because real gold is so darn soft, you wouldn't want it on any kind of jewelry. And totally digital display, jumping hour, jumping minutes. That is so cool. Power reserve right here. This is so distinctive. Unfortunately, I do say the minute repeater is twangy, and you can see the weird shape of these bars. Yeah, it doesn't sound as good. I didn't evaluate the sound based on the picture, but my experience tends to bear out that when you have these weird shapes, it doesn't sound as good. Case back is insane. Totally insane. They have jewels everywhere. All these blue screws, probably hand-fired or something. Just totally incredible. They really know how to do their case backs. Plates are gorgeous. You have decorated pieces here. Let's listen to that chime. Okay, I think we get the idea. Yeah, it sounds all right. It's very quiet. I think this is before Tim Massa started putting the microphone right up next to it. But I thank you, good sir. Thank you for providing us with a recording so we can hear what these things sound like. This watch is so darn striking. Even though it's pretty expensive, I put it as a finalist. There's an affordability component, so the really expensive ones don't have as much of a chance to win. They have to kind of carry. This one is so darn distinctive. You know, that really helps its chances in the final top 10. See how it does. Total score of 80. 32nd place, we finally got here. Christopher Ward C1 Bel Canto. Only $4,840. Probably the most attainable, really high quality chiming watch. 41 millimeters across, 13.2 millimeters thick. It is only a sonnerie au passage, but I think the cheapest minute repeater is 22 Gs. So, you know, you're going to be spending a ton of money to get a minute repeater. What was it, 24? It's a lot more than this. You can't get a minute repeater at this price. And this is a very classy looking sonnerie au passage. Grade 5 titanium case. I don't know why the case is brushed. It should be polished nicely. It's supposed to be a dress watch, but it still looks classy. I mean, the guilloche dial is totally stunning on this limited edition. I love the little bird they have here. It's really darn cool. Case back is the plainest you have ever seen. Well, I have seen plainer case backs, but it's very plain. The party's on the front. It's business in the back. It's a reverse mullet. All right, let's listen to the chime. It'll be a short recording.
Just like that. Now, Sonnerie.
I'll play it again.
Push down crown.
All right, let's listen.
See how this works right here? Just like that. Now,
that's all we get. Sounds really nice, actually. It's got a really long chime here. So it sounds pretty. You only get one little ding. And this one has to be in the finalists. Total score of 81. 31st place is the Ulysse Nardin Stranger. Only $47,000, 45 millimeters across, 15.3 thick. And it plays a melody. This little disc will turn around and hit these little prongs and make a beautiful melody. Got your on off. I don't know what these do. It is a minute repeater. So do we get chimes as well? That's what I'm not sure about. Hopefully the recording will make that clearer. They must advertise it as a minute repeater because that's what I put on the scorecard. White gold case. Yeah, that seems like a good deal for these things. and it will be a finalist, absolutely. There's some more adventurous color schemes here, like black and red. Case back is very plain. Strangers in the Night. I think that's the tune it plays. Very plain though. All right, let's listen to the recording. Rhythm's good. A little slow, but no, it's so charming. Beautiful. I really like that one. Like I said, to get a melody, 47,000, that's a good deal. Total score of 81. 30th place is the Patek Philippe 6301. Grande and petite sonnerie. Yep, you see those words, you know. Good grief. $1,649,923. 44.8 wearing. That's huge. 12 thick. Yeah, I mean, well, we saw bigger ones, but that's really too big for a dress watch. It does have a nice enamel dial, and black is harder to do than white enamel. Really shows the imperfections. So, and that's what emal means here, or email. It means enamel. Sonorous, and then movement. Cool, 2 different power reserves. They don't, however, have 2 rotors. It's a hand winding. Okay, cool. Platinum case. Perhaps you select Grande and Petite Sonnerie with this? I don't know. Let's go back up. Oh, no, you select it down here. Here's the little selector switch. This must be for the minute repeater. Really nice. Oh, 3 tones. This is going to sound so good. All right, let's take a listen. Sounds kind of twangy. There's a lot of overtones. Maybe that's high quality. Whoa. We had to wait a long time to hear those 15 minutes. And then finally it goes. It also didn't sound very in tune. Hard to tell. Maybe in person it'd be clearer. Beautiful case back though. It's a nice one. Too expensive to be in the finalists. Score of 81. 29th place is the Breguet 7637 Classique Repetition Minutes. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce it correctly. 338,000 bucks, 42 across, 12.3 thick. It will be one of the finalists. I love Breguet. Love their style. It's so clean. Just so classy. 42 is a little large, but the minute repeaters just are larger. And apparently it's got a really nice one. That last one didn't sound that great to me. So let's listen to one that's maybe a little nicer. Wow, beautiful decoration. My goodness. Very clear. Good rhythm. Wonderful tuning to it as well. They did a fantastic job on the chime. And there's that case back again. Beautiful engraving. They've got these finger bridges. I think that's what those are called. Just stunning. Breguet does beautiful work. This is amazing. Total score of 82. 28th place is the Philippe Dufour Grande and Petite Sonnerie. 5.9 million. I think that's what it went for at auction. The latest time they went up. I don't think they make these anymore. You know, it's going to be super rare. I was trying to say the ones that are theoretically attainable. This one is not attainable, but, you know, I wanted to fill out the video. 0 meters water resistance. Cool little selectors here. One is probably the selector for the Grande Sonnerie. The other is your on-demand minute repeater situation. So classy. Unbelievably cool here. I love it. Totally love it. See why it went for a ton of money. Case back, it's got one of these covers, and case back is very interesting. I mean, do you see the hammer here? One of the hammers. Right, let's take a listen. I bet this is going to sound good. Oh, beautiful. Oh, that is incredible. I like that it's fast too. I wouldn't like for my minute repeater to take like a full minute to give me the time, like some of these do. That was excellent. But yeah, you can't buy it. I mean, if you had the money, could you be looking for a $6 million watch? Probably not. Certainly not. Total score of 82. All right. 27th place is the Vulcain Cricket President. 4,640 bucks. Yeah, that's attainable, just like the Christopher Ward. 36 millimeters across, 13.1 thick. It's an alarm watch. It's some really compelling colors. Pistachio is really nice. There's a salmon one that's really good too. Black and blue. Lots of colors. I think these are all the colors that I found. It is a buzzy style alarm. It's not going to be very upscale sounding, but you will feel it on the wrist, and that's probably more important for an alarm. Only 36 millimeters diameter. That is fantastic. That's a great dress watch size. Got my 34 right here. 36 is really nice. The case back is actually totally stunning. Really unique looking. It's, yeah, I was really surprised when I saw this because you look at the front. The front of the watch looks pretty plain. Like, oh, it's okay, it's just whatever. Then you look at the case back and it looks much more upscale to me. Gigantic blued screws. It looks great. Let's listen to that recording.
So if I can
This guy
get
will talk, so I'll be quiet.
sort of actuate it. So if you were imagining speeding up in time, there it is. I know you can hear that.
Okay. So we got some commentary. That's fine. I'm giving my commentary. Yeah, this is an excellent one, and it's definitely a finalist. Score of 83. 26th place is the LU Chopard Full Strike Titanium. $1,000,000, 43 millimeters across, 11.6. Why is it $1 million? Okay. Grade Type 5 titanium case. I put rough finishing. I don't know what they did here. It just looks bizarre. Maybe it's the color of the titanium. It does not look classy to me. It looks really cool, but yeah, we'll see. Gigantic hammers here. I put clear, so the sound is probably great. As an in-house chronometer. For some reason, we don't see a ton of chronometers, but this is one of them. Case back is really wonderful. Really big plates with really interesting architecture. All these little lines and curves. Looks like they polished them really well. I'm sure there's a lot that could be said about the case back. 63 jewels. Dang. All right, let's take a listen. Yeah, they do offer a skeletonized version of this. That is fantastic. That's one of the best chimes. It's got perfect fourths. Really nice. Yeah, I think the greater the interval between the two chimes, the better. And perfect fourth is as wide of a range as we seem to get with these. I like the color too, the pistachio. Very expensive. They kept it nice and thin though. It's under 12. That's unusual to see. Score of 83. This is an interesting one. In 25th place is the Piaget Emperador Cousin Ultra Thin Minute Repeater. They mean ultra thin. It's only 9.4. Very, very thin minute repeater movement in here. $270,000, 48 millimeters. And it's, like I said, 9.4. And it's almost a circle. It didn't try to do any fancy estimation of its true diameter. It's pretty much just a circle. I think it's kind of an optical illusion just because the crystal is not circular. The case is pretty darn circular. Full skeleton dial. See all the mechanism from the front. So does that mean the case back is boring? Let's see. Oh, no, the case back is very pleasing. Beautiful micro rotor with really cool engraved design on it. Yeah, it looks really nice. I mean, 48 is really, really big. Wish they could have made it a little smaller. You know, I don't know how far the movement goes out, but this is a lot of case. It's really not needed. But I know that's their style. This is sort of their signature look here. Sort of the rounded square that they like to do. Let's listen to the recording. Oh, beautiful. Really resonant. I love how that sounds. Yeah, beautiful sound. Very good one. And it will be a finalist. There's a good chance. Score of 83. 24th place is the Patek Philippe 5316 minute repeater. 1.1 million, 40.2 millimeters left to right, 13.2 thick. I like the smoked glass they have where you can see what's underneath. Got a moon phase. A tourbillon is in here somewhere. Can't see it from the front, but it's in there. Good grief, that's why it's 1.1 million. Date, full calendar, really cool. And it's a minute repeater. Sailcloth strap. Why do you slap an ugly looking strap on a watch like this? I do not understand. It doesn't look good to me. I'm sure it's high quality, but sailcloth does not go with a watch like this. I don't get it. Case back is really pleasing. Beautiful. Oh, I love this here. Oh man. And you can see that tourbillon from the back. It's right there. This little gear is really interesting too. Oh man. Let's hear the recording. All right, we got Zenko Jewelers again. Let's hear. Sounds good. I mean, when you hear that much background noise, you know that it's not going to be very loud. Or we assume. Maybe I shouldn't assume that, but that's what I think. Is it's probably not very loud. Good grade. Score of 83. 23rd place is the Audemars Piguet Ultra Complication Universelle. 4 million. One of these code 1159s. 42 millimeters across, 15.6 thick. I don't get the case. I don't get the sporty look. The tachometer? Why? I mean, a tachometer doesn't make sense in any type of watch. Well, racing at least has a history, but it's not functional. Like, you're going to use the speedometer on your dashboard. You're not going to be trying to find out your speed with some tachometer thing. It's just not going to happen. I don't get it. Moon phase here looks really cool. They do great work at Audemars Piguet, but I don't understand why they're putting their beautiful work in a case like this. Are they trying to copy Tag Heuer or something? It does have a Grande Sonnerie. There's a tourbillon in there as well. My goodness, 4 million. Here's the case back. It's got some fancy membrane. You've got a rotor kind of covering everything. Really big rotor. Oh, this is interesting. The lugs are ventilated. Probably takes some of the weight off. And they don't have to use as much white gold either. All right, let's listen to the recording. Yeah. Wait. So all we get to hear is this cheesy music. Okay. Yeah, can you just play it once? Just turn off the music while you're playing the chime. And also, I don't trust that's actually what it sounds like, but probably sounds okay. I mean, we saw some of the really fancy watches really just didn't sound that great because there's so much stuff in the case. I get a bad feeling about this one, but according to the scoring system, it scores pretty well. It's a score of 84, even with a really low elegance vibe. I gave it 4 out of 10 for elegance. Score of 84. 22nd place, another watch that you'll look at and you won't be able to tell the time. The Parmigiani Fleurier La Amoriale Repetition Mystérieuse. $1 million watch, 41.6 diameter, thickness of 12.7. Really cool pattern on the dial, but you have to flip the watch over to see the time. They put the time on the case back, and then the front of the watch is this. Are these lugs totally straight? I don't think they completely are. Yeah, see, they angle down. So you're not going to wear it upside down, I don't think. Maybe you would. I don't know. I guess that's an option. This is another one with a cheesy recording. It is very unique, and so I did choose it as a wild card. Why did I do that? It's $1 million. But okay, we'll take a listen. You can hear what they want you to think it sounds like. The music, the drama. So much drama. Okay, are you going to play the chime recording? Here it comes. Come on. It does not sound like that. There's no way. Those are actually like actual symphony bells or something. There's no way it sounds like that. I mean, maybe it does. That was the only recording I could find. Like I said, I really tried to find recordings where someone actually had the watch and they're recording it instead of this marketing stuff, but it's a really cool watch either way. And I mean, before you buy it, of course you hear the watch. You'll handle it and hear it. So you can decide if it sounds all that great. Total score of 84. 21st place. Oh, this one is so good. Blancpain Grande Double Sonnerie. 2.1 million. 47 across. 14.5. This is one of the Westminster chimes. You can get a Westminster chime with the top button, I believe, and then you get Blancpain's melody. I think they just call it the Blancpain melody if you press the bottom one. So it'll do 2 different sequences. It's absolutely crazy. A lot of these ones with the beautiful front don't have as interesting of a back, but this one has a very interesting back too. Case back is really, really pleasing. Kinds of crazy stuff going on back here, including apparently a power reserve. I mean, it's 2.1 million, so I guess that's what you get. All right, let's listen to that nice melody.
And what Blancpain calls the Blancpain melody.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I played the Blancpain melody for you too. The sound of it was really good. They were kind of deadened though. Like when you hit a bell and you don't pull the hammer away right away, it's kind of deadens it. It had that sound to it to me. I don't know if they got the recoil off the hammer quite right on that, unfortunately. But it's beautiful. And there really aren't that many that'll play the Westminster chime like that. It's a nice one. Too expensive to include in the finalists, but I really like this one a lot. Score of 84. 20th place is the Jaeger LeCoultre Master Hybris Artistica. $663,000, 45 across, 16.1 thick. You got a dragon, a couple dragons, tourbillon, some kind of weird astronomical disc. The case is really nicely engraved with the scale pattern. Very stunning. Watch is so stunning, so striking. Case back is really nice too. Ooh, really thick bars here. Bet that sounds good. Find out in a second. Blued screws everywhere. It's an attractive movement. I mean, all these really expensive watches just have stunning movements, pretty much. All right, let's listen to the recording. One of these dramatic movements. Okay, that was it. Okay. Yeah, could you turn the music down? This is the only recording I could find. That's unfortunate. There's another JLC with the same movement in it coming up, so hopefully that'll get us a better idea. This one has a score of 85. 19th place is the LU Chopard Strike 1. $81,000, 40 across, 9.9 thick. And it's just a Sonnerie au passage. Just a single strike at the top of the hour. It is an in-house chronometer. They put it on the dial. Really nice pattern. Really interesting color of blue. Kind of a steel blue or something. I like that color. 0 meters water resistance. A lot of these have those. Don't take it swimming. Don't let water touch it. If it's raining, put it in some plastic bag in your pocket or something. Yeah, do not get it wet. Really thin too, 9.9 thick. That's awesome. This will be one of the finalists. The movement is very pleasing. Nice micro rotor there. Probably gold or something. Oh yeah, this is the gold version. We had the white gold at the front. But you get the idea. All right, let's listen to the recording. All right, there it is. There's the chime. Sounds nice. Score of 86. 18th place is the JLC Master Grande Tradition. $259,800, 43 across. So big. Yeah, I was thinking last night, like, there is maybe one watch in this video that's a 36. Then all the rest are like 42s, or at least 40 plus. Like, where are the 39s? Where are the 37s? I don't understand it. But yeah, 43. They're just all so darn big. It looks really nice, though. Really pretty dial. Is it enamel? No, I said plain dial. It's probably some sort of texture or something. Get your perpetual calendar, get the moon phase, and then of course you get that minute repeater. So I think it's a Grande complication. I think you just have to have 3. I apologize, I don't remember exactly what a Grande complication entails. I had that figured out when I started all this stuff. And then by the end of it, all that information left my head. It's just so much information. I'm making excuses, I'm sorry. The case back is really nice. It's actually the same case back as that Hybris Artistica that we saw a couple watches back. So it'll be the same chime as well, you would presume. This watch is a lot thinner than that last one was, though. Only 13.7. All right, let's take a listen. Oh yeah, I need to put on my headphones. It's very quiet. Hopefully I can boost that sound and you can hear it a little better. Seems clear. I like it. I mean, JLC seems like it's not particularly exciting. I don't really like this blue ring here. I don't know what that's for. Is that the chime? It is very classy, very expensive. Total score of 86. 17th place is the Carl F. Bucherer Monero Minute Repeater. $499,057. Don't forget the 57. 43.8 millimeters across, 12.5 thick. They tell you what number of the limited edition it is. That's cool. I like seeing the hammers here. Gigantic tourbillon. It looks a little empty here, though. The dial is oddly imbalanced. Don't like that. I don't know what this is for here. Looks kind of interesting. Something off. You do get a nice red gold case. Oh, I say the minute repeater's twangy. We'll have to listen. Case back is really nice. I really like this architecture. Very pleasing, especially how the stripes continue across these two plates. That looks nice. Interesting shapes going on. Get to see the full ratchety minute repeater system. And it is an automatic movement. I think this is the rotor here, just totally on the periphery. Is that right? Could that possibly be? I mean, it says automatic. Hopefully I got that right. It's not like it changes the score, but that is good information to know. All right, well, let's listen to the recording.
The watch has 2 gongs, so you can clearly distinguish between the hours and the minutes.
Yeah, it sounds twangy. And the tempo got all weird there at the end. It was a little bit spastic. Kind of like how I talk. But yeah, the watch was spastic. Maybe that's easier to tell the difference. Like, I'm sensitive to the idea that you don't want it to all be in the same tempo. But you would like the different segments to have a different speed. That might make it a little easier to tell the time. Okay. Oh, it does have a silicone balance spring, but only 10 meters of water resistance. I mean, I don't know if I trust the water resistance on any of these. You're going to want to baby them for sure. Cool option, score of 86. 16th place is the Harry Winston Midnight Minute Repeater. $300,553. 42 across, 11.6 thick. And yeah, Harry Winston, I'm not familiar with this brand, but they're selling a $300,000 watch, so somebody must know who these guys are. I don't care for these weird lugs. I don't care for the dial situation. It's just not my style. They put H and W here on the hammers. That's kind of cool. I say that minute repeater is clear. We'll see in a second. Look at the case back. Case back is really nice. I like what they did here. They have all this space here. That's probably why it sounds clear. You know, they gave a lot of space for these chimes to, you know, resonate. That's nice. All right, let's listen to the recording. Like the other one, a little bit spastic with the tempo, the rhythm there. That was kind of strange. Recording was too quiet for me to really tell what was going on. Hopefully I can boost that audio. Seems all right. Again, it doesn't look very good. It just looks off. Like this printing looks bad. I don't know what's going on. There's a lot of cheesiness. It is impressive. It's an impressive piece of watchmaking. That is for sure. To a score of 87. Oh, the first one with a dark green. Right, B+. Will only get better. 15th place is the FP Journe Repetition Souverain. $175,000, 40 millimeters across, only 8.5 thick. I think they advertised having the thinnest minute repeater movement. We saw a thinner one though that was 6 something for entire watch. That is totally crazy. 8.5 is pretty crazy for this too. It's a very thin movement to achieve that. That is nuts. I like the numbers on here. I think they make an open face version of that. I would probably go with the open face because this, I don't know what it is about it. It's just not doing it for me. The cutout kind of ruins it here with this weird color. If it was a silver plate underneath, I think that would look nice with the rest of the dial, but this kind of sticks out to me. I love FP Journe's hands. So classy. Case back is totally gorgeous. Love how they do their case back, their exhibition case back. Got kind of the scooped portion on the outside. Just really bold lettering, and they fill the whole thing up. It's really pleasing. And then this is beautiful. Polished chamfers on these plates here. All right, let's listen to the recording. All right, well, there you go. So it was a major second. I prefer minor thirds or major thirds or perfect fourths. That's okay, though. The rhythm was, I mean, there were no breaks in between that. It just rattled the whole thing off. Most of them have a little tiny break in between. You know, you have your hours, your minute quarters, and then your remaining minutes. They have little breaks between those sections. This one, it just went right into it. No break whatsoever. Something nice about that, but it's also a little bit intense. One will be a wild card. Definitely has a chance for the top 10. Very high score of 87. 14th place, a beauty, absolute beauty I did not know about, the Gerald Genta Minute Repeater. And it's a 40 left to right. I'm calling it a feel more like a 41.3 because the case is a little bit squared. It's $400,000, only 9.6 thick. And they got the memo of a dress watch. Dress watches should be simple, plain. They did it so well here. It is extremely classy. Really like the railroad track, how they have a circle on the inside and then this kind of like bended circle for the outer part of it. It's really cool. You can imagine some kind of crazy train that could actually ride on the track like that. It's a little bit quirky, but not too much. It's buttoned up and quirky at the same time. I like the thin hands, just minimal. Very nice. They even have a cabochon crown, which we haven't seen a ton of those. What are these lugs called? It's got the bar lugs. I like those. Case back is really excellent. Very tastefully done. Everything on this just looks more refined than a lot of the other watches. There was a trend, I think, in having watches be like fresh and cool. I'm more on the refined side, and so this one really speaks to me. Let's listen to the recording. Oh, beautiful. That was really excellent. My goodness. Just to the 6 positions. That is great. Yeah, this one's a banger. Score of 88. 13th place is the Vacheron Constantin Traditionnel Repetition Minutes Tourbillon. This one's kind of hard to find. It's $149,000 only for Vacheron Constantin. With the tourbillon, that's crazy. 44 millimeters across, only 12.2 thick. Yeah, maybe it's not in their current catalog, but you can still find them from jewelers and such. I think this is a great deal. I really like how dressy it looks. You know, they've got the tourbillon. I think it would look classier if that wasn't there. That's just my opinion, but it's more impressive with it there. Beautiful guilloche dial. Dial is a little bit offset, just a little bit up. That's a really interesting thing to do. Just add some more character to the watch. Got nice masculine lugs here. I mean, at a 44 millimeter, it's definitely a man's watch. That case back is really excellent. I mean, all these case backs are just wonderful. I don't really know what to say, but want to allow it to be on the screen for a little bit so you can enjoy what that looks like. I don't know exactly what to draw your attention to since I'm not a professional horologist. The case is platinum, PL 950. Wow, that seems like a high purity of platinum. I don't know if those usually are 950, but yeah, that's nice. Let's listen to that minute repeater.
Là, là, non, mais tu peux pas, il faut la serrure. J'ai oublié comment ça va.
That was really excellent. Good rhythm, pretty good tone. Like that a lot. Definitely going to the final runoff. Contender, score of 88. 12th place is the Louis Vuitton Escale minute repeater. $350,000, 40 millimeters across, 12.3 thick. It's a jump hour. It has a retrograde minutes. Oh, that is so cool. It has this mesmerizing, beguiling dial here. The wavy, sunbursty guilloche, just really cool looking texture. Fabrique in Swiss. It's like it's made in Switzerland. They put Paris here, Paris design apparently. Pebble case is really pleasing. I like that a lot. It's a very classy way to go. The pushers are kind of disguised, at least top down. They're not too prominent. Red gold case. Totally reasonable size. This is a good dress watch size, 40 millimeters. I mean, for a minute repeater, this is about as good as you get. 40 millimeters, 12.3 thick. It's just a normal watch size. So they did an excellent job there. Case back is really nice too. It's gears, interesting patterns, shapes, stuff happening. This looks like some sort of weapon. The balance member here looks like a weapon. See the little hammers. I think this does make a difference when you have the hammer shaped like this. You know, we saw other shapes of hammers that didn't sound as good. The hammer has a lot to do with the sound. It's not just about the rings here. All right, let's listen to that recording. Okay, they didn't show the bing bong, but yeah, that sounded really twangy. I gave it the twangy penalty. Despite what I said about the hammers, you know, the sound was deadened. It didn't ring like you'd want it to. It's great in a lot of other ways, and maybe it sounds better in person. Total score of 89. 11th place is the Patek Philippe 5374G minute repeater. Almost $1 million, 897,000. 42 millimeters across. It's 12.2 thick. No water resistance, but it does have the silicone balance spring. It has an enamel dial, blue enamel. I'm sure that's wonderful to behold. Got your perpetual calendar. You probably have a day-night hand here too. Got your moon phase. And you've got that minute repeater. A lot of complications going on here. Very complicated watch. Nice Breguet numerals. Beautiful case back with the micro rotor. With the, what are they, corn de vache? No, they call this something cornrows? Forget what Tim Masso calls this pattern on the rotor. Very pleasing. Good looking hammers. That beautiful Patek Philippe emblem. All right, let's listen to the recording. Okay. On the medium, slower side of the tempo. If I watched this whole video, I'm sure he would tell us what this pattern is. That's probably where I heard it. Yeah, it sounded pretty clear to me before he started putting that mic closer to it so we could get a better sound. Yeah, great watch, white gold case. Very impressive, but it's, you know, it's $1 million watch with tax. Tax, it's probably more than $1 million. Very classy. But there are some Patek Philippe's that are higher in score. Total score of 89. 10th place is the Louis Vuitton Voyager. $295,000, 42 across. It's a weird shape though. Thickness of 9.9. Yeah, I don't know why the lugs are so narrow. It's a weird look. And then gigantic V. Can't miss that, except half the time it'll be an A. Totally open worked. You can see all kinds of stuff from the front of the dial. Oh, we could do without lume on the hands. Not needed. You know, it's a chiming watch. It's not supposed to be like utility tool watch. I can see in the dark because I'm working after the sun goes down, working on the fence. Like, you don't need the lume on the hands. So that was silly. I think the watch world needs to figure out what the point of lume is and realize you don't have to put lume on a watch like this. Just don't do it. Don't do it. We could have really nice, elegant hands instead of this kind of thing. But anyway, very thin, only 9.9. That's crazy. Movement is sort of plain, I'll be honest. Gigantic plate just covers everything. All right, let's take a listen to the recording. Yeah, I like that. Very nice. Okay, I did indeed rule that it was a clear sounding chime. Hopefully you agree. I think that sounded really good. It's the first A grade, A minus grade. Total score of 90. Got 9 more watches to go. 9th place is the Audemars Piguet Code 1159 Grande Sonnerie. $875,000, 41 millimeters across, 13.6 thick. I mean, yeah, it's a Grande Sonnerie, so there's a lot of stuff in there. Very complicated watch. Pink gold case. The artwork on this is a little bit feminine. Actually, it's a lot feminine to me. I think it's this color and then the strap. On a black strap, this might not look so feminine. I mean, I can enjoy stuff like that. I can enjoy looking at stuff like that. Don't think I want to wear this, though. Especially with this kind of effeminate teal color. I know they have some other dials, and hopefully I'll put those on the screen. You can see some other dial options. Hand winding. Case back is really nice. They kept it classy. Love the gold lettering that's engraved into the plates. Interesting case architecture. They cut out a little bit so you could see this little gear here. That's really nice. Got 3 little chimes right in a row. Kind of look like alligator teeth or something. I really like that. Let's listen to the recording. Nice. Okay. Another one at the 754 mark. Let's take a listen. Okay, that was the full deal. Nice. And this is one of those other color ways I was telling you about. A lot more masculine. Yeah, I would go for the blue, not this teal here. I would go for it. Would I buy an $875,000 watch? No, I'd pay off my house and have leftover money. This is crazy. I mean, once you start comparing it to other things that exist in the world, it's like, how, if you have $875,000, how do you end up buying a watch with it? Kind of undermining the whole point of the video, I guess. No, I said from the beginning, it's just fascinating that they exist. It's also crazy to contemplate. Total score of 90. In 8th place is the JLC Reverso Tribute Minute Repeater. Yes, I mean, this is fantastic. Of course it's a finalist. My goodness, this is so cool. When you flip the case over, you get another watch on the back, and it's fully skeletonized. It looks so good. I have a picture. Yeah, here we go. That's what it looks like on the other side. That is so cool. You can have your pick. Do you want it a little bit more buttoned up, or do you want it a little bit more exciting? You get to choose. It's got that minute repeater. I say it's clear. We'll see in a second. It actually got a medium crown penalty. I have little boxes that correspond to the presents and everything. And this one's big, apparently. It doesn't stick out far, but it does exceed the boundaries of the box. So it was more objective with categorizing the size of the crowns. You know, partway through this series, I started being more objective. All right, let's take a listen to that recording. Sound on. Turn your sound on, guys. Oh, that is so cool. I really liked seeing this thing spin when he pushed down the plunger there. That was so cool. Wow. As we get into these higher rated watches, may as well show you on the wrist what the JLC looks like. It'll do. It's kind of big. It's really long, taking up a lot of the wrist, but I still think it's doable, at least for my 7¼ inch wrist. Looks really classy. Go great with a gray suit. Very impressive. Beautiful watch. Score of 90. 7th place is the A Longa in Zona Minute Repeater Perpetual. Perpetual calendar. They say it right on the dial, so you can't miss it. 3 lines of text. I should have said extraneous text. There's extraneous text here, but that's all right. It does have that black enamel dial. Beautiful big date. Roman numerals. I love Roman numerals on a dress watch. I think that's the time and place to do it. It's so great. The moon phase is also really nice with the stars in the sky. You know, when I did the moon phase video, a lot of them were just totally plain. This is really excellent. I mean, it's $750,000. Again, the price of a really nice house. So what the heck? Platinum case, only 12.1 thick. I think the wearing experience is going to be good too. Case back is stunning. I don't remember exactly what they do to the plates to make them this way. That color is just so otherworldly. Some kind of silver or something. It's beautiful. I really like the plates on A Longa and Zona when they use this material, whatever it is. Blued screws just everywhere. You know, hand fired. It's crazy. All right, let's listen to the chime. Oh, wow. My goodness. That's the best chime I've heard the whole video. That is the best one. Incredible. Hands down, the most beautiful chime I've heard. I mean, clearly they did a good recording of it, but so clear, so in tune. I'm sure they devoted a lot of resources to that, and you can tell. And the bow tie means it's going to the finalists. Total score of 90. 6th place is the H. Moser & Company Endeavor Minute Repeater. This is the classier one over that Streamliner. $365,000, 40 millimeters across, 13.5 thick. Nice long rings here, so hopefully it'll sound good. It says clear, right? Beautiful tourbillon. I like this dial. It's a really interesting shape, sort of like Batman or something, and really big tourbillon. The image is kind of low quality. I don't know why that is. I'll show you prettier pictures on the screen though. Grade 5 titanium, all polished, high polished. That's what a dress watch should be, in my opinion. The lugs are a little bit adventurous for a dress watch, but it's okay. The crown is also big, medium crown. That's why the score isn't higher than it already is. That crown contributes to that. Case back is stunning. Who knew that H. Moser could do this? I didn't know. This is high horology stuff. Beautiful. It's got the Geneva seal. Really excellent. They did not use blued screws though. The blued screws would have spiced it up a little more. It's $365,000. Let's listen to the recording. Tommaso at it again. Oh, herky-jerky. Beautiful tone. The rhythm was a little bit herky-jerky, but yeah, great minute repeater. As we're getting into the top here, I thought I would show you, mocked up on my 7¼ inch wrist, what it would look like. A 40 is indeed wearable. It's not crazy. A little bit on the large side for my taste for a dress watch. I mean, it's still doable. It's still a good size, if on slightly larger size. With minute repeaters, that's just what you're going to get. Except for one that we'll see still coming up, a 36 millimeter. There you go. It's looking good. Yeah, this is a fantastic one. Score of 91. 5th place, the top 5. It's the Blancpain Villeray, or it should be Villeray. I misspelled it. Repetition Minutes. $409,900. 40 millimeters across, 11.6 thick. Yes, this is the dress watch style. They did a great job making it just simple, plain dress watch. And I like that. You know, these are ones you're going to wear to formal events. You're not going to wear it to the barbecue. I mean, you can if you want to, but it's going to be best with a suit. That's what it's for. So why not make it look like that? I know our whole culture is more casual now. You know, I only own one actual suit myself, but it used to be guys would own more suits and yeah, you'd have these formal watches and stuff. Not very much pink on here. I mean, they're pretty much all going to get some water resistance penalties because, you know, you got to put penalties somewhere so you don't get over 100 scores. And unfortunately on this one, I don't have a picture of the case back. There's not many pictures of it, period. I guess it's an obscure watch or something. can't find pictures on the internet. But I did find a recording, so let's listen to that. Thank goodness. So full. Wow, impressive. Oh, here's your case back. Got these finger bridges. I mean, the lighting is horrible and everything. Man, that was so full. I mean, the tone of it was just round and full. Sounded really, really good. It doesn't have a ton of personality, but this is a solid option. All these top 5s are going to the runoff. Total score of 91. Fourth place is the Patek Philippe 5178G minute repeater. $598,570, 40 millimeters across, only 10.5 thick. Good grief. That is so good, Patek. This is, I think, their best one. It's not the highest scoring one, but I think this is the most viable option for a man. They have a nice salmon version. They have a black version. The strap is not good. I would change that to a black strap. I do like the color of the blue, though. They do have actual alligator leather. I mean, it's a nice strap. It's just kind of an effeminate color. It's got a micro rotor movement. So it's an automatic that's only 10.5. And it's got a minute repeater. That's insane. That's really incredible engineering. Mocked up on my 7¼ inch wrist. It looks good. It's a good size. Again, I would change that strap and it would look a lot better, a lot more masculine. All right, let's listen to that recording. They have a white dial too. Not as impressive as the Blancpain, that's for sure. I'll be real, it sounded kind of twangy, but great watch nonetheless. Total score of 91. Third place, top 3, getting the bronze medal, the Vacheron Constantin Patrimony Contemporain 1731. And again, these aren't my top 10. The top 10 are after I take into account more subjective matters, like I literally rank all the chimes of the 25 watches I selected, and I look at other things as well. But score-wise, this got number 3. Pink gold case. This is the dressiest of the dress watches we've seen. It is large. It's 41. It's not too bad on the wrist, though. Let me show you. Yeah, that'll do nicely. That's going to be fine. It is on the larger size for a dress watch, but it is going to be so classy. Oh, they really keep it classy. At least with this one they did. My goodness. The case back is really nice as well, as you would expect. Although they didn't blue the screws. Huh. Sometimes you get blued screws, sometimes you don't. Suppose you could pay somebody to blue them for you, or you could buy some blued screws to put in there. I don't know. There's probably an aesthetic reason as well. You know, you focus more on the text here and the jewels and all the gears and stuff. How is it only 8.1 thick? Wow. All right, let's listen to the recording. If it will load, what is going on? YouTube! And they chose a major second. That's okay. Not quite as impressive as a larger interval, but that is nice. Really impressive. This one's a major contender. I'm sure the regular Patrimony is also going to have a really good chance of being the best at whatever price range it's in just the simple dress watch series. Yeah, a compelling option if you have $500,000. Score of 92. Second place is the Jaeger-LeCoultre Hybris Mechanica. $505,000. 41 millimeters across, only 7.8 thick. And honestly, the aesthetic of it is not doing it for me. I tend to dislike blue sunbursts because I know they look weird in different lighting. Got this white printing here, these weird cutouts. It's just kind of strange. I don't understand it. Beautiful Dauphine hands though. They didn't loom the hands or anything. So it's getting close. It's not quite a cigar for me though. Close but no cigar. This is probably see-through. It's got a white background, but you can probably see through to your flesh underneath the watch. The case back is totally stunning. Really nice plate. There's plates everywhere. What is this crazy plate in the middle? And I mean, it is really cool. It gave you a little musical notation here. Gave you 4/8 notes to contemplate. That's cool. These chimes are nice and thick. It's probably going to make a nice sound. Say it's a clear one. Yeah, let's take a listen. Okay, there's no YouTube video, but on their website they have a recording. Sort of cheating, but let's listen. Wow. Oh, you wait all day for the last little bit. That is impressive. And yeah, I say it's cheating because they set up the optimal environment. They removed all the noise and everything. So it's hard to compare to the other watches. It'd be great if all the watches put one of these on their website. Really give you an idea what it sounds like. Let's take a look, mocked up on my wrist. On my 7¼ inch wrist, it fits just fine. It's gonna look good. Again, I tend to think of 40 plus as being too large. It is on the large size, but it'll work, especially by modern standards. It's gonna be okay. Again, I would have preferred without the cutouts. Just have a nice, classy dial. Maybe a gold dial, black strap. That's what I would prefer. But this is good too. Total score of 93. And what's in first place? There can be only one number one. It's the Patek Philippe 7040 minute repeater. And yes, it's a lady's watch. At long last, we got our 36 millimeter, $626,853, 10.1 thick. And they had to encrust it with diamonds because it's for a woman. And, you know, women love their diamonds or something. That's a downside. I think it does get a little penalty, a tiny little penalty for diamond bezel. That's not ideal for a man. And that's one reason I do the subjective rounds at the end. It is a really excellent watch. And I do think a man could pull it off, but it's not ideal to have all these diamonds everywhere. Beautiful, gorgeous dial. And how did they get a 36? If they can do it, why can't others? Well, it's $626,000. So yeah, there's probably a lot of engineering that went into it to get it that small. I'll show you why I like 36 so much. Mocked up on my wrist. There's such great balance with the 36, with the sleeve and the jacket, and you get to see the strap. That's a dress watch size. That's what they should be. You know, for a man, the diamonds are kind of a problem. I don't know if I'd be bold enough to go with the diamonds. I probably would. I have a watch with little diamond indexes on it. Not real diamonds, but, you know, it's the same sort of thing. You know, I'm wearing a lady's watch right now. So I'm not opposed to wearing ladies' watches by any means. I think this one would work. It's just a missed opportunity to have a true man's version of this. Again, maybe a gold case with a smooth bezel and like a black dial or a white dial. They could have a silver guilloche here for a man with a gold case. Oh, that would be stunning. It'd be a knockout. All right, let's take a listen to that chime. Oh wait, we didn't look at the case back. The case back is awesome. This is our last case back we're looking at. Nice micro rotor movement. Again, no blued screws. They skipped that. They said, no need to do blued screws. Got the corn row pattern thing on the micro rotor. That's nice. All right, let's listen to the recording. Nice. Although, I guess that matches the key. Oh! Yeah, okay, it matches. At least they put it in the same key. Some of those videos, the background music is in a different key from the chime. Like, why? Why do you do this? No, that was good. That was the top scoring noise-making dress watch. Patek Philippe 7040 minute repeater. So many cool watches we saw. This is a standout, the Patrimony. Blancpain actually was really nice too. Had beautiful chime. The Reverso is a standout as well. So much character, so much class. This one was a surprise too. This Vacheron Constantin. The Gerald Genta was really impressive. I think this is the highest scoring Sonnerie Passage watch. Nice. Got the mysterious one that you can't see the time. The Piaget is really interesting. Very, very thin. Get to see all the minute repeater stuff from the front. That's really nice. Of course, the Breguet Classique. Vulcain Cricket. I mean, I'm going to talk about them more later, so maybe I shouldn't talk about them now. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. The Christopher Ward, that's a beautiful watch. You know, when you compare them to the minute repeaters, not as impressive, but also not as expensive. If you just want your watch to make some sound, the best avenue is to get an old Pouliot watch. Or even like, there was an Oris that was $400 on eBay. I saw an Oris alarm watch. It was gold for $400. Said it had been recently serviced. Like there's some older ones out there you can get. Triple axis tourbillons. These watches are insane. The Solaria with 41 complications, $5 million. Some cool watches we saw in this video. Hopefully it was enjoyable. But now we can go off to the runoff rounds and determine the top 10 chiming watches. All right, let's do these runoff rounds. Okay, so here are the 25 finalists. You know, I took those top 5 watches and then all the ones that I just selected as finalists. You know, Christopher Ward, all these great looking chiming watches. Since score is not everything, since not everything is specs on a page, I have these rounds to kind of sift through and bring up the ones that are better. All 25 watches will be ranked in these 6 rounds. And I have points associated with them. Formal looks will get 10 points. Character will get 8. I'll go through all of these. The original score is shrink to 75% of what it was. Then these points are added on top. The absolute value of all this is 48. So it's a significant chunk, maybe a third of kind of the final situation. But it makes a huge difference. So the score is still important. The raw score is still in there. But this other stuff is very, very important. All right, let's go to round 1. The first round is formal looks. I have not updated this picture here, this AI photo. She has 5 fingers. That's good. He has only 1 ear here. He doesn't have an extra one or something. But essentially what I'm looking for with formal looks is sort of like the watch on my wrist. Simple and muted, sleek, elegant, not weird is important. And gold kind of gets a little bit of a preference over steel or even white gold. That rose gold, that just, it looks more formal. Gold is a more formal look. This is how I rank them. Vacheron Constantin Patrimony is top of the pack. Volcane Cricket, sadly, is pretty low. Maybe I should have put in a different color. I think the salmon might have gotten a little bit higher than like the LU Chopard. But it doesn't look very refined. It really doesn't look very elegant with all these numbers all over it and everything. You know, Ulysse Nardin Stranger, not very elegant. These ones at the top are. All right, let's go to round 2. Round 2 is character. Some of what I'm trying to capture here is how iconic is the design. You know, how much character the watch has on its own, where you see it and it's distinctive. It's making a statement all by itself. It's very strong and recognizable. So original, different, new, distinctive. Distinctive is a great word. Fresh and interesting. This Breguet here is not particularly fresh looking, but it is very iconic. And, you know, you see it and you know it's a Breguet. That's kind of what character's all about. All right, let's go to the next round. Impressiveness. And yeah, it's like, how impressive is the watch when you see it? I thought this was the most striking one. The wow factor is extremely high for this H. Moser. Intrigue, ritzy. It looks very fancy. It looks very cool. It looks very high quality. Flashy, you know, just what are the impressive ones? Impressive is really the main word here. What are the most impressive looking watches? You know, disregarding the sound. All right, let's go to round 4. Round 4, sonorousness. And it's not just about the sonority, you know, it's also about the rhythm, the tonality. Tonality meaning the pitches that are used. I mentioned before, I prefer a larger interval. So like a perfect fourth. I thought that was the largest interval. I heard one of these that was actually major 6th, but mostly they only go up to a perfect 4th. They get smaller intervals. So I'm checking, is it in tune? That's a big part of it. And then how big is the interval for tonality? Clarity, you know, that's just kind of subjective. How clear does it sound? You know, sometimes when there's a lot of overtones, it does make it sound twangy to my ear. I prefer just kind of a pure tone. That's what I was preferring in this. Complexity, really, it's just complexity of the chiming mechanism. So a melody would get the highest one, and then minute repeaters would get 8 points. Sonnerie au passage was getting only 3 points. I put all these numbers in, and I put them all together. And I actually have a recording going from top to bottom, but it takes about 1:15 seconds. So I don't know if I want to play it for you. I can't decide. I'm going to go ahead and do it, and if in editing it sounds bad, I'll take it out. So here it is. Of course, this is the highest scoring one. Beautiful melody. This one's good too, not quite as good as the last one. This was the best minute repeater by far. Very clear. Also very clear. I mean, these are all nice. This is a hard exercise. This is a hard exercise. not sound great. That one lost for rhythm. That was kind of dinky. That was very herky-jerky. It's kind of tinny. This one was by far the worst. Well, no, there's one after it. Worst minute repeater. And ending with the Vulcan cricket. Yeah, I'll see if that's interesting and then take it out if it's not. Okay, so that was the sonorousness. Let's go to the next round. Okay, round 5 is affordability. And I guess we had one that was $1 million. Good grief. But this was the price range, 46 hundo up to $1 million. And so you take the bel canto here, you do all the math, and it's only getting a very small penalty. But you take the a longa minute perpetual, and $750,000, it's getting a 5-point penalty. So that's how that all worked. These two examples don't really illustrate the point of doing the ranking and the dollars, but it is important to get a smoother distribution of these penalties. Okay, round 6 was thickness. And, you know, it's just thinnest watch here at the beginning up to the thickest. This Breguet beautiful music watch is unfortunately really huge and thick. All right, now I'm ready to show you the top 10. Here are the top 10 chiming watches. In 10th place is the Breguet 7800 Classique La Musicale. 48 millimeters, 16.7 thick. Yeah, I mentioned it got no bonus for thickness. And $128,900. It looks really nice. It's got a lot of character. It's also fairly impressive. It got as high as you could on the chime. Its original score was very low, so that's why it didn't get very high. And it's not all that expensive either. The thickness thing held it back for sure. You know, if it had a 6 here, it'd be 92. It would be in the top 5. But it didn't. You know, it's super thick. And can't really fault them for that. I mean, it sounds gorgeous. They did what they had to do. Let me show you how big it looks on the wrist. As I mentioned, it does wear very large. 48 is going to be a huge watch. You're not going to get it under the cuff with that gigantic thickness, but it certainly looks classy. It's just kind of too big. You make an exception for this one, though, because of that beautiful chime. Do I need to play the chimes? Just a reminder, here it is. Beautiful. Total score of 86. 9th place is the JLC Hybris Mechanica. 41 millimeters across, 7.8 thick, $500,000. Had a really high original score. After all the rounds, it didn't fare nearly as well. I didn't think it looked very formal. It's probably the blue. You know, if it was a gold dial, if they took off some of this cheesy printing, maybe took out these cuts here, they could make it look more formal. It's looking very sporty. The hands are great, but yeah, scored really high for the chime itself, though. Let me show you on the wrist. Suitable size, a bit on the large size for my taste for dress watches, but still doable. I think it's going to look really nice. All right, now let's listen to that recording. Sounds good. Good darn recording. Yeah, all things said and done, 9th place, score of 87 in the end. 8th place is the Piaget Emperador Cousin ultra thin minute repeater. It's a 48, so it's huge, but only 9.4 thick. It did really well for thickness, getting 5 out of 6 of those bonus points for thinness. $270,000. So also not crazy unaffordable compared to the other ones at the end. Only a -2 here. Doesn't look super formal to me. I mean, the gold is nice, but this is kind of weird and loud. Do you think it's impressive? And the chime sounds really good too. Let's look on the wrist. And yeah, as I said, the 48 is huge. 55 lug to lug. It's taken up just about my entire wrist, this mock-up. That's crazy. Fortunately, it is thin, so it'll probably slip under the cuff. And the way the case is shaped, it's kind of designed to do that. All right, let me play that recording. The diamond version. You get the idea. Kind of slow, but pleasing sound. All said and done, score of 87. That was my number 8. 7th place is the Vacheron Constantin Traditionnel Repetition Minutes Tourbillon. It's 44 millimeters, 12.2 thick. Really long lugs though. It's going to look big on the wrist. Only $149,000. The tourbillon, and it's Vacheron Constantin. I mean, I think this is a great deal. Very low affordability penalty. I think it looks very formal. Doesn't have a ton of character compared to the other watches in the finalists. It is very impressive. Got a pretty good chime. Let me show you on the wrist. The 44 does wear large. It looks too large to me. The lug to lug is really long too, 52. I like to see more balance where you get to see a little bit more strap. It's kind of all watch. It's not as bad as a 48, but 44 is still not great. All right, let's listen to that chime.
Là, là, non, mais tu peux pas. Il faut la serrure. J'ai oublié comment ça va.
This guy's talking in the background. Yeah, it's nice. That was my number 7. 6th place is the Patek Philippe 5178G minute repeater. 40 millimeters across, 10.5 thick, almost $600,000. Beautiful dial, really impressive. It's very striking. I would get it off that feminine strap though. That is no good for a man. That's not a good color, in my opinion. Put it on a black alligator leather. It's kind of middle of the pack for most of these things. Had a really high original score. Even affordability, it's on the higher end for sure. Oh, this illustrates why I don't do just a straight price divided by price thing, because then this would only be a -3. It is on the upper end in rank of price, so that illustrates the dual affordability equation there. Pretty thin too. 10.5 is great. Let me show you on the wrist. It's 40 millimeter, but I think it wears really nicely. Again, the strap needs to be changed. That's looking weird. It fits well on my 7¼ inch wrist. Good size. All right, let's listen to that recording. Sounds pretty nice. Minor third. Good rhythm on it. Sure, the good rhythm helped with its sonorousness score here. 6 out of 10. All right, that was my number 6. 5th place is the Blancpain Villeray repetition minutes. It's Villeray, not Villeray. 40 millimeters across, 11.6 thick, $409,900. Very expensive. Why did I put the cents on here? That's silly. Anyway, actually after the subjective rounds, the score went down a little bit. It does look extremely formal, does not have much character. That's where it's lacking. It's also not very impressive. Just kind of a fit-in watch, which is not horrible for a dress watch. You know, it did make it up to 5th place, so that's good. And it has one of the best chimes. Sounds fantastic. Thickness is not too crazy. All right, let's look at it on the wrist. Very classy. You know, if you're wearing a tux, maybe you'd want a black strap with this. Looks so good though. Just so elegant. I don't think there's a second hand on it. Really nice. Lugs are kind of short too. That's great. Wonderful little crown there. It's a sleeper for sure. Let's hear the recording. Very clear. Very round sounding. Yeah, that's the one that's the major 6th. That's a major 6th. Very impressive. I don't know why I didn't hear that initially. That would have gotten it a higher score probably. That's a beautiful chime. It's already ranked pretty high, but I think it would have been even higher. Oh, well, it's already 9 out of 10. And how high can it go? Because those Melody watches got the 1st place. Great chime. Score of 89. 4th place is the JLC Jaeger à la Coute Reverso Tribute Minute Repeater. So classic. Oh, it's beautiful. Size is probably not the right word here. It's a rectangle, so equivalent circle area would be 41.7. Maybe I have the dimensions on the next page. The thickness is 12.6, and the price is $288,575. Original score went up a little bit more. The subjective rounds helped it out because it's got a ton of character. It looks very formal. I think it's a little bit more reserved, refined, so it wasn't huge on impressiveness compared to other ones. The chime is not that great, unfortunately. At least the recording I could hear. It's also not the thinnest one in the world. I mean, you have that reversible case. Let's look at it on the wrist. Beautiful. So distinctive. I put presents here too, so we didn't get the dimensions on here. Guess that was earlier in the video. We get the lug to lug, 51.1. And some people say with rectangle watches, that's all you need to know is pretty much the lug to lug. It looks great. Looks good with a gray suit. I like that a lot. All right, and here's the recording. Yeah, I'll boost that sound because that was very quiet. Not the best chime. You know, they probably can't have circular rings here to bang on. Got some sort of angle thing going on. It's a great one. Absolutely a great one. Score of 92. Third place is the Gerald Genta minute repeater. And it's a 40 left to right with a feel more like a 41 because it's a little bit squared. Thickness is only 9.6, $400,000. Unfortunately, these watches are just crazy expensive. Again, it's the cost of a house. It's ridiculous. That costs more than the first house we had. And yeah, after the subjective rounds, it did come up by 5 points. It looks so formal. One of the dressiest watches in the video. I love the railroad track, kind of weird, wonky railroad track where it's funny in the corners here. Very charming, very minimal, like the cabochon crown, the bar lugs. All right, let's take a look on the wrist. Okay, on here I put 40 left to right. The lug to lug is 46.9. It looks good. It's a good size. I really like it. And it's, like I said, it's a little bit quirky, but it's also sophisticated at the same time. Looks good. And here's the recording. It's a little bit deadened. I'm not really getting the reverberation you'd want. And I'm sorry for just realizing this. All these minute repeaters have this crazy spinny thing, and I'm sure that gives the power to this somehow. So, man, I should know what that's called at least if I'm going to do this video. But I don't. You can tell me if you want. What was my ruling? 8 out of 10 sonorousness. Okay, maybe I was too generous. I shouldn't second guess myself here at the end. Plenty of other people will be willing to second guess my choices without me doing it too. But there you go. Don't take it too darn seriously. No, it's beautiful. It's a great watch, and it is very pleasing. Score of 93. Second place is the A Longa in Zona minute repeater perpetual. 40.5 millimeters across, 12.1 thick, getting on the thicker side. Well, it's only halfway apparently. $750,000. Getting a -5 here for that. This has a beautiful, probably the most beautiful minute repeater sound of all of them. It is totally gorgeous. I don't know how they did it with all this other stuff in there, you know, with the moon phase, the perpetual calendar, big date. Like, it's extremely impressive. I understand why I don't understand why it costs more than a really nice house, but I understand why it costs more than some of the other watches in this video. Just compare it to the other ones because it is very stunning. Let's look at it on the wrist. 40.5. It's not too big, at least on my wrist. On other guys' wrists, this might just be way too big. Then you're just probably out of luck for minute repeaters. But I think this looks good. It's very solid. It's very masculine. Here's the recording. That is amazing. Beautiful. And talk about a perfect fourth. Totally perfect. Those guys did a great job. Wonderful minute repeater. Final score of 94. And what's in number 1? First place is the Vacheron Constantin Patrimony Contemporain 1731. By far the best. I kind of knew it was going to be the best. 41 millimeters, 8.1 thick, $394,754. So it's expensive. It got half of the possible affordability penalty. -3 here. Formal looks. How did it get 11 out of 10? Oh man. I know what I did here. We're just going to roll with it because all the scores were prepared the same. What I did is this formula was dividing by 27 because the last one of the previous videos, and I just used the same spreadsheet, it was dividing by 27 because there are 27 watches. So that's how you get more than 10 here. That should be 10, but that's kind of embarrassing. But either way, it all worked out, I think. This still is the best. I can just tell it's the best. 25 divided by 27 gives you a number greater than 1, which you multiply by 10, and then you get 11. But anyway, I know that these watches used to be very common, this type of watch. It is so classy. I really think it's perfect for a dress watch. The looks of it. This one is a little bit too wide, 41. Let me show you what I mean on the wrist. On the wrist, it's great. A little bit large, but I still think it looks wonderful. Large for my taste, but you can't get small minute repeaters, pretty much. Looks good on my 7.25 inch wrist. All right, let's listen to that recording. I said 7 out of 10. It's gonna sound good. Come on, YouTube. You can do it. Oh, interesting. The hammers are different sizes. Beautiful. Totally gorgeous. All right, that was my number 1. Those top 10 were the Vacheron Constantin Patrimony, the A Longa and Zona Minute Repeater Perpetual, the Gerald Genta Minute Repeater, JLC Reverso Tribute Minute Repeater, Blancpain Villeray Repetition Minutes, Patek Philippe 5178G Minute Repeater, Vacheron Constantin Traditionnel Repetition Minutes Tourbillon. That's a mouthful. Did it make the font smaller just for that one? The Piaget Emperador Cousin Ultra Thin Minute Repeater, JLC Hybris Mechanica, the Breguet 7800 Classique La Musicale. All right, let's go to the runners-up. Here are my 5 runners-up. First runner-up is the Breguet 7637 Classique Repetition Minutes, 42 millimeters, 12.3, $338,000. Super formal. It's got a fair amount of character too. Apparently the chime is pretty good too. Oh, that is good. Yeah, that's a nice one. Yeah, I like that one a lot. Final score of 86. My next runner-up is the Louis Vuitton Escale Minute Repeater. 40 millimeters, 12.3 thick, $350,000. Why am I saying it like that? All these watches cost 6 figures pretty much. It's a jump hour. It has the retrograde minutes. That is so cool. I love the dial here. Really interesting. This is really cool. I've never seen someone border a window like this. Really cool. Let's listen to that chime. They didn't let us hear the minute repeater part of it. It sounded really deadened. Did not ring out very well. Oh, that's part of why it wasn't in the top 10. Chime didn't sound that great. Score of 85. Third runner-up. This was the highest scoring one of all. But after all this, it didn't get into the top 10. Patek Philippe 7040 minute repeater. It's 36 millimeters. The best size of any dress watch, in my opinion. It's 10.1 thick. Yeah, it's $626,000. So it got a 5-point affordability penalty. Wasn't so darn expensive. It would have done better. You know, scrape those diamonds off. Just have a polished case. You can get that price down. I think that would do a lot for this one. But, you know, it is technically a lady's watch. I will show you this one on the wrist so you can see what I'm talking about. Mocked up on my 7¼ inch wrist. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is the size of a dress watch. So good. Such great balance with my wrist. And if you have a smaller wrist, you know, I guess that just makes the watch world even harder for you because so many of these watches are huge. 40s and such. The 42s, the 44s. 36 is beautiful size. I would probably change it to a black strap. All right, let's listen to that recording. Nice recording. I liked it. There it is. It made my runners up, but not my top 10. And I didn't even have a masculinity round to like destroy it. Character was super low. Why is character so low? Either way, yeah, I think it's where it belongs. Final score of 85. The fourth runner-up is the FP Journe Repetition Souverain. 40 millimeters, 8.5 thick, only $175,000. Middle of the pack for the sonorousness. Oh yeah, it's got that weird rhythm. That's right. Not the most formal looking, the blue and stuff. Maybe I should have scored the open-worked version because that would have been more impressive than this one. I probably should have. I don't know if it costs more though. Maybe it costs more. All right, let's listen to that recording. There it is. Oh yeah, it also lost points because it's only a minor second interval. That's not as good as, you know, a larger interval. That was my fourth runner-up. And the last runner-up, it has to be in here somewhere, doesn't it? The Christopher Ward C1 Bel Canto. 41 millimeters across, 13.2 thick, $4,840. Looking like an absolute bargain compared to all these other ones. And yeah, it didn't have that high of an original score, partly due to the chime, because that was a factor of the score. Well, it wasn't a huge factor. I mean, this is really thick. It's getting double penalized. It's penalized on the original scoring system and then penalized even more at the end. Same with the chime. Like, these sonneries au passage, it's just not comparable to a minute repeater. It's a totally different world. But this one is good enough it made it to a runner-up. And if we're talking about affordable chiming watches that make any sound, it's either this one or the Vulcain Cricket. That's all you get, pretty much. Under $10,000. That's kind of all I can suggest is a good idea to pick up. Those are kind of your choices. Under $10,000. But let's look at it on the wrist. On the wrist, it looks pretty good. It's not too crazy. That 13 is going to be hard to cram under the cuff, the 13 thickness. But if you can, I think this works pretty well. And it is very impressive. Here's that recording.
This works right here.
That's it. That's all you get. I'll do it one more time. See if I can boost the sound. Okay. I see some other videos of the same watch. Maybe somebody else would have more. They would do it more times or something. You get the idea. And here are those runners up. Breguet 7637, Louis Vuitton Escale, Patek Philippe 7040, FP Journe Repetition Souverain, and the Christopher Ward C1 Bel Canto. Had to get some sort of recognition. They did a good thing there. But in the chiming watch world, it's just not super impressive compared to what else is on offer. That's all I had on the watches. And now, as I like to do in all these videos, I'm going to talk about the Bible. It's very relevant to today's video because it's about being rich. Woe to you who are rich. So it's the first of the 4 woes in Luke 6. Let's do Bible time now. Welcome to Bible time. Today we're going to be looking at the first of the 4 woes found in Jesus' Sermon on the Plain in Luke 6. And the exact verse we're looking at is Luke 6:24. But woe to you who are rich, for you have already received your comfort. That's the NIV translation. And these 4 woes come right after the Luke 6 4 Beatitudes. And they're totally parallel. They're sort of an expansion on the Beatitudes. So in other words, there's not just a blessing for certain human conditions, but there's also a woe for the opposite, like a warning. And reframing and or expanding on the Beatitudes in this way is very revealing. To kind of think about it from the other side, it's a fresh way of looking at a core truth. So yeah, I've got this chart here where it shows who are blessed. So the one who's blessed is who's poor, and then the one who incurs woe is who is rich. You who are rich. So we've got those who hunger, weep, and when people hate you, and of course the opposites. But today we're focusing on the poor, or I suppose we're focusing on the rich because we're doing the woe side of things. But yeah, as in the Matthew 5 Beatitudes series, the categorization subverts our expectations. You know, when Jesus says, blessed are you, and then it's like something we think of as awful, it's kind of confusing. You know, for example, the word blessing, makarioi, the Greek word, it literally has the meaning of being well off. You know, having abundant resources. And then Jesus is saying, blessed are the poor. And so it's kind of opposite town. And in fact, woe to you who are rich. But of course, the Bible has a robust explanation for this, and we'll get into it. There's a reason why Jesus is warning people against being rich, because the woe is kind of a warning. But let's dive into woe a little bit deeper. So the Greek word here is Strong's 3759. It's oi. Why? I don't know how you'd say that if you're Greek, but it's an interjection, just like we would use in English. I guess people don't say whoa, whoa this and whoa that. We say whoa like a cowboy says whoa. But woe, W-O-E, means an exclamation of grief or denunciation. And in fact, in the KJV, it's translated as alas. Alas. You know, it's kind of this declaration that you would make of there's something really grief-inducing. The parallel Hebrew word, because this is found in the Old Testament too, these kind of declarations. The Hebrew word is Strong's, Old Testament Strong's 1945. How, ho-u. I don't know. But it has the same meaning. Woe, alas. What did you do? Something like that. That's how I imagine it. So I'll give you a couple examples. A New Testament example of this is when Jesus was excoriating the Pharisees. He used this word, and he has a long list of grievances with them, but I'll give you one of them. Matthew 23, verse 27 to 28. Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites, who are like whitewashed tombs, which look beautiful on the outside, but on the inside are full of bones of the dead and everything unclean. In the same way, on the outside you appear to people as righteous, but on the inside you are full of hypocrisy and wickedness. So that sounds like a warning. It sounds like there's something really bad going on there. So woe to you. It's like, become aware of this really awful thing. An Old Testament example of this, and there's more than one for sure, but we'll go to Habakkuk, where 5 woes were declared against Babylon, exposing greed, violence, exploitation, debauchery, and idolatry. And so I don't know which one this one is, but it's Habakkuk 2:6. Will not all of them taunt him with ridicule and scorn, saying, woe to him who piles up stolen goods and makes himself wealthy by extortion. How long must this go on? So people are going to yell, woe to him. Like there's this bad guy who's extorting people. Woe to him. You want him to feel despair and there's something really bad. So the word is pretty serious. We don't say woe to you, woe about this anymore. We have different expressions, but I think we can understand the meaning of the Bible here. Let's get into the interpretation of the actual first woe. I do have a 4-point outline today, and my first point is that riches dissolve. No matter how much wealth we acquire during our lives, we can't take it with us into the next. So our riches are temporary. Ecclesiastes 5, verses 13 through 15. I've seen a grievous evil under the sun, wealth hoarded to the harm of its owners, or wealth lost through some misfortune, so that when they have children, there's nothing left for them to inherit. Everyone comes naked from their mother's womb, and as everyone comes, so they depart. They take nothing from their toil that they can carry in their hands. When we leave this earth, we're not taking anything with us. That's the bottom line there. The riches dissolve. They are not permanent. They're temporary. Matthew 6, 19 through 21. Do not store up yourselves treasure on earth, where moths and vermin destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. Speaking to the temporary nature of our earthly blessings. Might even be temporary here on earth. Might be wealthy today, poor tomorrow. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where moths and vermin do not destroy, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. It's kind of expanding in some of my other points about riches, but the temporary nature is explained there. Everything that we have temporarily can be destroyed. 1 John 2, verse 15. Do not love the world or anything in the world. If anyone loves the world, love for the Father is not in him. For everything in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, comes not from the Father, but from the world. The world and its desires pass away, but whoever does the will of God lives forever. So my point there was in verse 17, the world and its desires pass away. Not going to stay. It's temporary. And finally, one more verse, Proverbs 23, verse 4 through 5. Do not wear yourself out to get rich. Do not trust your own cleverness. Cast but a glance at riches, and they are gone, for they will surely sprout wings and fly off to the sky like an eagle. So how fleeting is our wealth on this earth? Obviously, you can do prudential things to avoid that from happening. Don't keep all your money under the mattress sort of thing. But, it's not going to stay with us. It's all temporary. All this is temporary. That brings me to my second point. Riches disappoint. No matter how fine our possessions are, they cannot satisfy our spirits. The expensive trinkets, my fancy $49 watch here, the fancy car, the beautiful house, they're all very nice, but ultimately they will not fill the God-shaped hole in our hearts. And it's vain. If I buy something nice, hoping that it will fill me up, eventually I'll find it won't, no matter how nice it is. I've got some verses. Hopefully these track here. Matthew 19, verse 23 through 24. Then Jesus said to his disciples, truly I tell you, it is hard for someone who is rich to enter the kingdom of heaven. Again, I tell you, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for someone who is rich to enter the kingdom of God. The riches don't provide us what we ultimately should desire, which is entrance into the kingdom of heaven. It's disappointing. You can't buy your salvation. Luke 12, verse 13 through 15. Someone in the crowd said to him, Teacher, tell my brother to divide the inheritance with me. Jesus replied, Man, who appointed me a judge or an arbiter between you? And he said to them, Watch out. Whoa. No. Be on your guard against all kinds of greed. Life does not consist in an abundance of possessions. That's just a truth. And people have observed this throughout time. You cannot satisfy yourself with possessions that you obtain. Those possessions will disappoint you. Life does not consist in an abundance of possession. It's not where you're going to find life. You may find temporary pleasure there, but you will not find life in the accumulation of possessions. Proverbs 11:28. Those who trust in their riches will fall, but the righteous will thrive like a green leaf. Again, those riches will disappoint us. If we put our trust in them, they will fail us. Ezekiel 7, verse 19. They will throw their silver into the streets, and their gold will be treated as a thing unclean. Their silver and gold will not be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath. No value. It has earthly value. It does not have any heavenly value. It will not satisfy their hunger or fill their stomachs, for it has caused them to stumble into sin. Yeah, I think of gambling, this kind of lust for money and the excitement one would presumably get. I'm not a gambler, but the excitement you would presumably get by winning a bunch of money. That doesn't feed you. It feeds a desire that is fleeting. The desire is going to come back. It's not filled by the achievement of some sort of boost in wealth. Never be satisfied. Zephaniah 1:18. Neither their silver nor their gold will be able to save them on the day of the Lord's wrath. In the fire of his jealousy, the whole earth will be consumed, for he will make a sudden end of all who live on the earth. Yeah, I guess this goes with the temporal thing. That silver and gold, it's not going to stay around, but it also can't save you. If you put your hope in that, you'll be sorely disappointed. Riches disappoint. Ecclesiastes 5:10-11. This is my last one. Whoever loves money never has enough. They'll always be disappointed with it. Whoever loves wealth is never satisfied with their income. This too is meaningless. As goods increase, so do those who consume them. And what benefit are they to the owners except to feast their eyes on them? Again, it's disappointing. You have these things, they don't fill you up. You just have them, and all you can do is kind of look at it, but it doesn't satisfy. The disappointment. All right, and that brings me to point number 3. Riches detract, or maybe distract. Maybe distract. Riches distract us from God. Energy that we focus on accumulating wealth for ourselves could be focused on pouring out on others. An example that comes to mind is, the man who works 60-hour work weeks, or even more. Sometimes accountants work more than that, and it leaves their kids and their wife very little time with dad. And, dad has a God-appointed role as a spiritual leader and a teacher and as a husband. Kids and wives spell love Time. Expression people tell me sometimes. And all that time at the office detracts from a much more important role that God has ordained for this dad and husband, shepherding his wife and his offspring. And I know that not everybody has the luxury of working a 40-hour-a-week job, but the thing is here, some men make the decision to work more than they have to based on the idolization of wealth. They put that career, they just want their career to get so high, they work and work and work and work, and then they neglect their families. This definitely happens. And yes, of course, the family needs resources, but the kids need their dad to be there more than they need whatever fancy new stuff. Like, there has to be balance here. And so I've got a few verses. Matthew 6:24. No one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you'll be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. I have this little song I made that includes this in there. So yeah, I'll link that in the description.
No man can serve two masters. Either he will hate the one and love the other.
Luke 12, verse 16-21. And he told them this parable. The ground of a certain rich man yielded an abundant harvest. He thought to himself, what shall I do? I have no place to store my crops. Then he said, this is what I'll do. I will tear down my barns and build bigger ones, and there I will store my surplus grain. And I'll say to myself, you have plenty of grain laid up for many years. Take life easy, eat, drink, and be merry. But God said to him, you fool, this very night your life will be demanded from you. Then who will get all that you have prepared for yourself? This is how it will be with whoever stores up things for themselves, but is not rich toward God. He had this windfall, a bunch of extra grain. Instead of giving it to God, he thought, I'll just hoard this up, then I can just be lazy for a long time. Just live off of this abundance that God gave to me. And that's not what God wants. That's not what God wants us to do with our blessings. He wants us to share. I have to tell my kids, I need to share. James 5, verse 1-6. Oh, this one's intense. Now listen, you rich people. Weep and wail because of the misery that is coming on you. Your wealth has rotted, and moths have eaten your clothes. Your gold and silver are corroded. Their corrosion will testify against you and eat your flesh like fire. You have hoarded wealth in the last days. Look, the wages you failed to pay the workers who moved your fields are crying out against you. Cries of the harvesters have reached the ears of the Lord Almighty. You have lived on earth in luxury and self-indulgence. You have fattened yourself in the day of slaughter. You have condemned and murdered the innocent one who was not opposing you. Wow, okay. That fits right along with woe to you who are rich. My goodness, the self-indulgence. That's sort of the point here, detracting or distracting us from God's will in our lives. When we're focused on that wealth, it's self-indulgent. That's what's being called out here, is that self-indulgence. Okay, one more verse, and then we'll get to my last point. 1 Timothy 6, verse 9 through 10. Those who want to get rich fall into temptation and a trap, and into many foolish and harmful desires that plunge people into ruin and destruction. For the love of money is a root of all kinds of evil. Some people, eager for money, have wandered from the faith, pierced themselves with many griefs. Again, a distraction. You're in your faith, and then you have all this money, kind of just veer away, wander from the faith, and as a result, pierce themselves with many griefs. All right, my final point, that riches dilute. They dilute our spirit. The Bible warns that riches can puff us up and remove our reliance on God. The riches can lead us in habits of self-sufficiency rather than God's sufficiency. And that last one I said, self-indulgence. Just, I have all these riches, now I can sit around lazy. This one is self-sufficiency. Like, I made all this money. I'm a hot shot. I don't really need God anymore. And in that passage, we've covered a lot of the riches part of it. It says they have already received their comfort. That last part is really interesting. And comfort here is Strong's 3874, paraklesin. It means comfort, consolation, solace. So they've received their solace. And as I established in point number 2, what was point number 2? Riches disappoint. So you put your comfort in something disappointing. It's not a great place to receive your comfort from. It's something that's disappointing. That comfort is very thin. As Jesus told the woman at the well, he offers something much better than possessions. He offers living water that will satisfy eternally. That's in John 4, verse 13. Jesus answered, everyone who drinks this water will be thirsty again, but whoever drinks the water I give them will never thirst. Indeed, the water I give them will become in them a spring of water, welling up to eternal life. So if you've received your comfort from riches, you're less likely to seek that deeper, eternal comfort of God, that living water. You'll say, I buy the fanciest water. What do I care? Our hands are filled with all this wealth. They're not going to be open to receive what God has to offer. In Revelation to the church of Laodicea, Jesus said in Revelation 3:17, you say, I am rich. I have acquired wealth and do not need a thing. But you do not realize that you are a wretched, pitiful, poor, blind, and naked. And that speaks directly to the harm of riches. It leads to self-sufficiency. Exactly what it's talking about, with diluting our reliance on God. Jesus quotes them as saying, I do not need a thing. That's their heart. That's what's in their heart, is that they think, I'm rich. I don't need a thing. That's an attitude that's likely to happen when we are rich. This reminds me of Jesus' warning against public giving, prayer, and fasting. Like doing it in front of everybody to be seen by others, to gain clout with other people. And this is found in Matthew 6. The reason why it reminds me of this is he ends each of these warnings, or he puts it in there somewhere. They have received their reward in full. So this is found in Matthew 6. First one is verse 2. So when you give to the needy, do not announce it with trumpets as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and on the streets, to be honored by others. Truly, I tell you, they have received their reward in full. The next one is verse 5. And when you pray, do not be like the hypocrites, for they love to pray standing in the synagogues and on the street corners to be seen by others. Truly, I tell you, they have received their reward in full. Finally, verse 16. When you fast, do not look somber as the hypocrites do, for they disfigure their faces to show others that they are fasting. Truly, I tell you, they have received their reward in full. And so that's kind of the comfort part. They have received their comfort. This is an expression that Jesus uses that it strikes me as incriminating. Like, okay, you wanted this thing, well, you got it, and nothing more. Your reward with riches, your reward, those riches are your comfort. That's all you're going to get. It's just what the riches provide, which, as I pointed out, it's vanity. And, clearly here, the giving to the poor, praying and fasting, those are all wonderful things, but our attitude can turn it wrong. And I think the same is true with wealth and riches. Our attitude kind of determines whether that's fruitful and whether it will be useful to God, or whether we're just going to hoard it and we're just looking out for ourselves and trying to elevate ourselves in this world. So those were my 4 points. As a little recap, point number 1 was riches dissolve. And yeah, riches provide some comfort, but that comfort is temporary. We can't take it with us. Secondly, we saw that riches disappoint. Whoever loves money never has enough. Very true. Third, we saw that riches distract us from more important purposes God has for us. Riches detract or distract. You cannot serve both God and money. And finally, we saw that there's grave spiritual danger in having great wealth. As Jesus said in Revelation 3, wealth can lead to an attitude of, I don't need a thing. That's not a good attitude to have. That pulls us from God. So to sum it all up, woe to you who are rich, for you have already received your comfort. And as we covered, that comfort is temporary, disappointing. It distracts us from what God has for us, and it can dilute our spirit, making us think we don't need God anymore. So it would be wise for us to heed Jesus' warning here. That's all I have on the passage. It was really interesting to go through it. I was not at all familiar with the 4 woes. I think I just kind of lumped it together with those Beatitudes, but it's cool to see it from the other side. And next week will be the second woe, and that's Luke 6:25a. Woe to you who are well fed now, for you will go hungry. So that'll be interesting to dive into. Don't know where that'll take us, but we'll see where it goes. Now let's close with prayer. Lord, thank you for the Bible. Thank you for your wisdom all throughout the Bible. There is so much the Bible says about riches and wealth, and my firm belief is that you don't want us to be hoarding things for ourselves. You don't want us to be trying to elevate ourselves in this world. You want our focus to be on heaven. And Lord, I pray that you would help me and anyone watching to focus on you and focus on heaven. And of course, money is not a bad thing in and of itself. It helps us to feed our children and, take care of others and give to the church and help out others who are poor. Money can be used for very good things, but of course the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. Lord, I pray that you would help us to have the right attitude in regard to wealth and prosperity, to shepherd the resources you give us well, to steward them well, and to do your will with all that we have. Lord, we love you. I pray all this in Jesus' name. Amen. Now may the Lord of peace himself give you peace always and in every way. The Lord be with you all. See you next time.